Welcome back to Kansas Speedway. A gorgeous Saturday afternoon here in the heartland of America. It is stop number 30 of 35 on the $50 million NASCAR Busch Series Tour. What a tour. 35 races, 26 tracks, 21 states, and 3 countries. That's how immense this NASCAR Busch Series season is. It is 300 miles, 200 laps on a 1.5-mile racetrack. The drivers are buckled up, getting the steering wheels on as we go trackside to hear the command.
Now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome our Grand Marshal, the President of Yellow Transportation, Maynard Skarka.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
All right, fired up. All right, fired up. All right, buddy, crank it up. Fired up, man. Hey, boys down here. Sorry I didn't get a chance to spend any time with y'all this morning. I had to take a little beauty sleep nap, and when I got up, it didn't help a bit. I'm just as ugly as when I started. But anyway, just want to say hey, guys, and we'll have fun here for everybody. You guys be safe in the pits here today and get where we need to be at the end of the thing.
Engines have fired and the fans are fired up here. They're ready to race and rock and roll here, NASCAR Busch Series style at Kansas Speedway. This is the 7th time the cars have run here. There have been 6 different winners. Take a look at our starting grid. We have an all Roush Fenway front row. Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle starting side by side on the front row. And while you watch to see where your favorite driver starts, let's visit with our in-race reporter, Clint Boyer, driver of the BB&T Chevrolet, who starts back in 23rd today.
Clint Boyer, this is Brad Daugherty, ESPN. You got a copy?
Got you, boss.
You've run a modified this week. You've run a late model dirt car. Now here we are at the Busch race. But I'm looking at this lineup, and you're 23rd. What are you going to have to do, buddy, to get up to the front?
Drive our bus off, but you know, everybody does their job here, and we'll get up there. Got full confidence in the BB&T Chevrolet guys, and we'll be on our way shortly.
Well, the home fans are pulling for you. Everybody in the stands are waving their Clint Boyer towels. Good luck today, buddy.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Let's visit with the guy who will be calling the shots for Clint today, his crew chief, Dan Deeringhoff.
Hey, Dan, it's Andy Petrie in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you, bud.
Hey, Dan, these Cup guys are just on the track with their final practice session. Did Clint get any secrets from that practice that can help you guys here today?
Today, but for right now, we're going to get down on the bottom, which is where we were best and happy hour there in Cup practice. And you know, we were free there in practice in qualifying, so that's going to be key. You got to be free here on a long run, and we'll be just fine.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Have a good race.
Dan Deeringhoff calling his shots for Clint Boyer. That was actually Clint answering back. As you heard a moment ago, that was Clint answering back because Deeringhoff's radio was cued into the car. Clint Boyer, we talk about the fact he is from Emporia, Kansas, about an hour south of here, southeast of here. Look at his NASCAR Busch Series season. 17 starts, 2 wins. He won at Phoenix and Richmond. 14 top 10 finishes. He has not won here on the home track, and as you told Brad, he'll be driving for all he's worth when the green flag waves. Our NASCAR Busch Series coverage at Kansas is presented by Principal Financial Group. For retirement, investments, insurance, and banking will give you an edge. And in part by Castrol Syntec for maximum power. Great cars want more than just oil. Give them Castrol Syntec. And by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. To update some of the stories we'll be following today, let's check in on the pits with Dave Burns.
Well, Doc, while Matt Kenseth was waiting to qualify just a couple of hours ago, he had a chance to watch his teammate, Greg Biffle, go out and make his qualifying run. As Biffle finished up, Kenseth, who was yet to go, offered to his teammate, hey, tell me what you ran. I want to know what I have to beat. Biffle came back and didn't tell him. Basically, I believe the quote was, none of your beeswax. I will not tell you. He finally gave up the number, and then Kenseth went out and beat him by 24 one-thousandths of a second for the pole. Kenseth, with a very good race car today, has a chance to win his first race of any kind here at the Kansas Speedway. Jamie?
Well, guys, we already talked to Clint Boyer a little while ago, but it's back home again in Kansas. He was born and raised in Emporia, Kansas, just a little over an hour west of here. And, you know, he's raced all weekend here, the last 3 days. This is actually the third of 4 races on his home turf. But today it's back to business. He's never won a NASCAR event here in Kansas, so he's looking for a win, being that it's, you know, not a battle for a championship here. Clint Boyer wants to take it to the front and bring home the win. And, guys, the best part of it all, Mike, is that he's going to take us along for the ride as our in-race reporter.
It's going to be fun, that's for sure. And you know, the spotlight most of the year has been focused brightly on the 60 and 29 car. Meanwhile, though, there's a third team that has crept into the Owners' Championship picture, and that, of course, being the 20 car of Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing. They're just 123 points back of the leaders with 6 races to go. That charge, of course, fueled by a spirited Denny Hamlin run. He's won 2 of the last 4 races. His crew chief, Dave Rogers, says they've been thinking about this Owners' Championship every race, but that doesn't mean it'll change their approach. Today, they're going for a win, something that would certainly help them close in on a potential Owners' Championship. Doc?
Great updates, guys. Lots of stories we'll be covering today. The 28 car had gone to the back of the field for an unapproved adjustment. Dave?
They've been working on an engine issue they had in practice, Doc, and Johnny was ordered to take it out on the track for 1 lap, see what it sounded like. Still bad. They're going to replace the ignition panel, which is on the dashboard on the inside of the car, and they're going to replace a plug wire or maybe more to see if they can get Johnny's car running. He does have the race sponsor on the car, so they want to get him going. They decided to come and do it now. They may take a 1 lap penalty for pitting under the pace laps before the race gets going.
Get that ignition panel.
That's Johnny Sauter, by the way, in the 28 car. Now, 8 high-definition onboard cameras will give you a glimpse throughout the field. Clint Boyer starts 23rd, the BB&T Chevy. Mike Wallace 20th, the Geico Chevrolet. Kevin Conway starts 25th, the Z-Line Design Chevy. Scott Wimmer 26th, the Camping World Chevrolet. Richard John starts 42nd, the FreeCreditReport.com Ford. Jason Leffler 17th, the Great Clips Toyota. Brad Keselowski 22nd in the Navy sponsored Chevy for JR Motorsports. David Rudeman 31st, the Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota. Take a look at our race analysis today. It is a 200-lap race, 300 miles on a 1.5-mile racetrack. Pit road speed 45 miles per hour. Pace car will run 55 miles per hour. And there is the pit window in terms of fuel. By the way, the banking here, 15 degrees. It is 3 degrees less than Chicago and 1 degree more than Kentucky, if you're trying to determine what this track is configured like in terms of other places that the NASCAR Busch Series cars run.
Got this D-shaped racetrack, Doc, and I asked guys all day yesterday, everyone kept complaining about being tight. And I said, why is it tight? Explain to me. It's just what you said. Andy, when you run down the backstretch of this racetrack, there's only 5 degrees of banking on the backstretch. You go into the corner, that 10 degrees of banking or 15 degrees of banking makes the car feel really, really tight. So guys have to be able to adjust all day long.
And they do, and this track has got, going into turn 3, it's a pretty sharp turn, and it doesn't have as much banking as you'd like to have as you enter the corner. That's why these cars slide around so much. They'll use the whole racetrack. They'll be up against the wall down on the bottom.
They have waved off the start just a moment ago because of debris on the racetrack. NASCAR has some spotters and inspectors all around the track at various viewpoints. And there they saw some debris, maybe something off one of the cars, and they wanted to go pick it up and make sure it's not a piece of sharp metal. Can't take a chance on these 43 guys roaring down in there wide open because it is all about safety. Now we will be coming to the green flag. The cars lined up behind the pace car. 3 Roush Fenway cars qualifying 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Matt Kenseth, his 2nd pole of the year. Greg Biffle, the 2002 Busch Series champion, on the outside of the front row. Points leader Carl Edwards starting 3rd, and of course 3-time winner this year Jeff Burton in that Chevrolet in the 29 car starting outside of row 2.
This is a little bit of a break for Johnny Sauter's team. They're still down there on pit road trying to get the car fired up. So this extra lap's going to give them a little extra time here to get going maybe.
Past few weeks, Johnny's had some really, really significant runs. It's run that car up near the front, so we'd like to see him have the opportunity to get started without being too many laps down.
He's got a brand new race car here. They had a lot of high hopes. Matter of fact, they were really fast in practice yesterday. Qualifying, the thing was missing, and they're trying to still fix it here.
Stop number 30 of 35. After today, just 5 events remain remarkably in this $50 million NASCAR Busch Series Tour for 2007. Pace car pulls away. A pair of Fords on the front row. Teammates Kenseth and Biffle will lead him down 300 miles, 200 laps. Great crowd on their feet for NASCAR Busch Series racing at Kansas Speedway. 16 car, a bit of a struggle at the beginning there, Andy.
And we see Jeff Burton in the 29 car. He made a break to the outside of the 16 because he had that bad start. And I'm almost kind of wondering whether that was legal or not to be moving out of line before they got to the green flag.
Well, it's kind of what we talk about in the pre-race, the experience of these guys, such as Jeff Burton and Kenseth and Biffle. They're already attacking the racetrack where some of the younger guys are trying to get sorted out.
Speaking of attacking, how about Carl Edwards here? Lap 1, he's attacking his teammate Matt Kenseth for the lead.
See, Matt Kenseth digging on that outside groove. He's not going to give it to Carl.
Well, every week we see Carl Edwards, Andy. He drives the wheels off one of these race cars, and he just digs and digs and digs. And after what happened to him this past week, I think he's got a little bit to prove this weekend.
And the only problem is you don't win a race on the first lap. You can sure lose one real quick. But Carl, both these guys are great race car drivers. They're not going to crash right here.
Matt Kenseth led the most laps in this race a year ago, only to have Kevin Harvick come zipping up from 7th starting spot to take the win away. 16 car of Greg Biffle still having some issues. He bounced off the wall a moment ago. Now he's in jeopardy of losing that position. That's 4th spot. The 20 car of Hamlin trying to get by.
Greg Biffle up in this outside groove coming off the corner. Car gets up in that loose stuff right here, and you see him just touch that wall. That shouldn't hurt the car too much. You see Greg still dead in the throttle.
Is that a handling issue, Andy? I mean, it looks like he was way out of line with the rest of the guys in front. Why was he so high on the racetrack?
Yeah, it's a handling issue. He's going faster than the car would go. He was just trying to keep her down in the groove. That's Greg Biffle, though. He drives that car hard.
Boy, he does. He saws on the wheel.
Did you answer your drivers like that when they asked you questions? Here's a battle. The 6 car David Reagan, leading Rookie of the Year contender. Behind him, another rookie, Brad Keselowski in the 88 car. Here he comes. But remember, he equaled his career best finish a week ago at Dover when he finished 7th overall.
Wow, his car looked pretty good there, driving on the outside of David Reagan, getting in that corner, working that outside groove.
It's really important for the youngsters in the field, and we're saying youngsters. We've got almost a full season of Busch Series racing under our belt. But to keep up, Andy, it seems, with the pace that Edwards and Kenseth and Hamlin set while they're figuring out their race cars. But because if they don't, there's so many Cup guys in the field, they're going to get passed by.
That's right. You got to go. You got to get going in this field.
Speaking of Cup guys in the field, looking back from Clint Boyer's onboard camera, that's Tony Stewart right behind him in the old Spice car. That's driving the car owned by Delana Harvick, and they're trying to knife their way up through the pack. They started toward the back, and they're now being shown in 19th and 20th position.
Clint Boyer's already knocked off about 4 of these guys, and this is going to be fun to watch these guys come to the front.
Clint is really up on that wheel. Like I say, he's had a full week of racing here close to his hometown. Got the home crowd here behind him.
Switch the boxes.
Hear him getting told to switch the boxes, Andy. What's that all about?
That sounds to me like an ignition problem that somebody's trying to work through there, and that's what you would do. So it was a 6 car maybe having a engine miss.
Running? Yeah, the motor's running, but it just feels like we're on 7 cylinders, 6 cylinders.
Well, he's dropping cylinders as he's going here. It probably is having an engine problem, but if they could switch ignition panels, there's 2 of these ignition systems, and they can switch to this backup.
All the way around.
Denny Hamlin, last week's winner at Dover, zipping by on the inside to take the 2nd spot away, or to try to take the 2nd spot away. Meanwhile, Greg Biffle, who struggled at the start, has now caught fire in that 16 car and pulls right up on this battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
I love what I'm seeing here, those 3 grooves. These guys are almost 3 wide through the corner, racing really hard here.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And as you look at this racetrack compared to where we were at last week at Dover, I mean, it looks like they're racing on a football field compared to the width at Dover. It's so tight.
More on Denny Hamlin with Mike Massaro.
You know, Doc, everybody I think watching on television a week ago was really impressed with what Denny Hamlin was able to do in Dover, overcoming flu symptoms to get to victory lane. Well, I sat down with his crew chief, Dave Rogers, this morning to talk about just that and asked him whether or not he thought that increased the level of respect he had for his driver. And he just kind of looked at me and said, absolutely not. There's absolutely no way they could have more respect than they already have for him. They have complete trust in him. And when he told them before the race he could go the distance, they believed him. Rogers told me that the respect was earned months ago in Milwaukee. Remember, he took over that car after it was started by Eric Almirola. He took it over after 50 laps had already been run on it. He was a lap down and raced that car to victory lane. Dave Rogers told me that's when he earned the respect.
60 car of Carl Edwards. You saw him go high and then come back down across the racetrack. And again, the battle heats up here between the 20 and the 17. Another lead change potentially up here. Denny Hamlin trying to move beneath The 17 of Kansas. Biffle is there. Edwards is there. Here comes Edwards. And the 29 right side of your screen, that's Jeff Burton as well.
Well, this lead's heating up right here. Greg Biffle, man, I can't believe how fast he's running. He knocked that car off the wall. He hadn't lifted the throttle one time.
Well, I'll tell you, Andy, he's around the last half of this season like he really has something to prove, no matter if he's in the Busch car or in the Cup car. He drives it so hard, and I think he's had a disappointing season. He wants to get some wins under his belt.
Piece of rubber hose just flittering by. That's off one of the cars up high. Not a serious issue here. Lap 10 of 200. Great battle up front. Now they'll settle down single file. Kenseth, Biffle, Hamlin, Burton, and Carl Edwards at top 5 at Kansas Speedway. We welcome you back to Kansas Speedway here. Live coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series, stop number 30 of 35. Our coverage presented by Principal Financial Group. Matt Kenseth is our leader, but now the second car in the top 10 in points having trouble. Here's the 7 car of Mike Wallace.
It's like we talked about at the beginning of the show. These guys needed to have good finishes, and 2 of these guys already having trouble.
Andy, we heard him talking earlier. He said his oil temperature looked to be fine and those types of things. What else could it be possibly if it's not oil pressure drop?
This could be a loose oil line actually on the side of the engine. They've got these scavenge lines that come out, and lots of times these things will just work themselves loose, and that may be what they've got here.
It is an oil line, we're being told. Is that right, Jamie?
Doc, that's what we're hearing. They believe it could be a loose oil line, so they wanted to have him come on in, pop it up, and they're going to check it out right now. But, you know, Mike Wallace came over the radio. He said everything seems to be fine, as we all heard. So I'll find out more, and I'll get back to you guys.
Mike Wallace, 10th in points, just 30 points out of 9th position. They're going to take that car back behind the garage area. We already had trouble with David Reagan, the rookie driver, who was 5th in points, just 20 back, or I should say just 42 ahead of Bobby Hamilton in 6th place.
You can throw a blanket over these top 3. They've been racing all over the racetrack. Matt, look, using this real high groove. Now we see Greg Biffle going up there. Greg was trying to get him on the bottom, but he just didn't have any luck.
Yeah, Greg was trying to race with him. You know. Andy, the question I want to ask is why, as you see the 33 Tony Stewart here, Marcus Ambrose. I was getting ready to ask you about Marcus Ambrose and some of these rookies who are close to that top 13, 14, 15. What does it take for them to be able to get up front and to compete with Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle and these guys?
Well, it's a couple things, Brad. A lot of it's confidence, just getting the confidence that, hey, I'm as good as Tony Stewart. You see Ambrose here running on the outside. I'm as good as he is. But the other thing is having the right equipment. And these guys that have these ties to these Cup teams is really hard to overcome. So it takes a lot of hard work at the shop. It's also about confidence.
Tony Stewart started back in 24th position, now being shown in 14th. He's gained, or should I say 13th now. He's gained 11 spots in 18 laps. 77 car coming by. That's Kevin Harvick driving his own car, battling with the 15 car of Paul Menard.
I think Kevin Harvick's been struggling with some kind of issue here. He slowed a few laps ago, but looks like he's up to speed real good right here. He's racing inside of Paul Menard. Car looks pretty good. I don't know what kind of problems he's been fighting here.
You know what? I talked to Kevin yesterday about his Busch car. He said he was having some tough times, especially getting through 3. The car was just so tight and so loose, he couldn't do anything with it. Mike?
And Brad, he just radioed in saying the front is tight and the back is loose. And he also commented he almost spun out. Now that seems like a pretty difficult situation to rectify. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, it is a difficult situation to rectify, especially when you can't get your hands on the car. They're looking for a caution or a chance to get in there and work on it maybe. But Kevin's going to have to make the best of it right now. He's just going to drive through it.
Our in-race reporter told Brad Doherty he really wants to take that car from the back of the pack toward the front. And guess what Clint Boyer has done, folks? From 23rd starting spot to 11th in 20 laps. And Brad, he wasn't lying. He wants this one in a bad way.
I tell you, Clint is hauling the heat, baby. He is coming to the front. He's got the hometown crowd up on their feet cheering for the Kansas boy. He is driving the wheels off that Chevrolet right now, Doc.
He was the Cinderella story a couple of weeks ago in NASCAR's Nextel Cup, getting his first win at New Hampshire. But now Cinderella has come home to Kansas, where Dorothy and Toto made it famous.
There you go, baby.
But no Cinderella story for one rookie today, hoping to have a good run. Right, Dave?
And that is David Reagan. He is leading the Rebessis Rookie of the Year points in this series. They don't know what's wrong with the car. Down on half the cylinders, they say. His cousin Brent actually jumped in the passenger side to replace that electrical panel, to take the whole thing out and put it back in. They'll change everything electrical, look under the hood and see what they can find, but they just don't have a clue right now as to what it is that's wrong with this 6 car.
Second position, Denny Hamlin and Greg Biffle, a couple of Nextel Cup veterans. Trying to mix it up. Of course, Hamlin had that incredible run. He wasn't feeling well last week at Dover. Led 5 times for 138 laps. Total domination. But he's got his hands full of a couple of Roush Fenway boys today. Biffle really wants to win one. It's amazing he hasn't won a race here in 2007 in Busch.
Doc, he is so talented. We go over and over it. And we all talk about Andy, and Tim and all talk about Greg Biffle, how he reminds us a lot of Cale Yarborough and David Pierce. He's so talented. But he is just, ever since he and Doug Rickert parted over a year ago, it just seems like his luck has been on the snide. We know he's a great race car driver, but hopefully he'll bounce back.
You can't keep a good man down like Greg Biffle. He is going to win more races and a lot of them. You see the 29 car coming right here, Jeff Burton. He's been stalking these guys, and now he's starting to make a move.
Well, it's always amazing. We always forget about Jeff Burton, it seems like, when we go to these races, and then all of a sudden he shows up at the front of the deal. When he gets up front, he usually checks out.
Yeah, he goes, remember me?
Yeah.
You saw him trying to make a move by Stephen Wallace there in the 66 car. Stephen, of course, the second-generation driver, I should say third-generation driver. Russell, the grandfather. Of course, Rusty, the dad. Stephen trying to make a name for himself in Busch and later on in Cup. That 29 car, by the way, is the one that won at California, so he will be heard from before the day is done. The 17 car of Matt Kenseth here setting sail. Kenseth has led 2 times for 15 of the 25 laps thus far. Back with more from Kansas in a moment.
This telecast of the NASCAR Busch Series is available in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Vizio. Beautiful day at the jam-packed Kansas Speedway. Early on in the NASCAR Busch Series 300-miler, Matt Kenseth is out in front. Kenseth started on the pole, gave up the lead to Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin for a few laps, but then went back out in front, and he leads Hamlin now by 0.6 of a second as they've begun overtaking the back end of the field. And what of Edwards? The Busch Series championship leader we saw up there fighting for the lead finds himself back in 9th place, thinking about a lot of things inside this race car, including his car's handling and the weather.
10-4. Yeah, it's going to be a long day, Jason. We'll just watch everybody's lines. You know, you help me like you normally do. And, I mean, first 100 laps will just be getting the car right. So just don't let me get too racy, I guess. Keep an eye on that wind, Jason. You know, let me know if it's changing.
And why would he want his spotter to keep an eye on the wind? Well, Doc, Andy and Brad, because it's blowing kind of hard.
Yeah, Alan, earlier today we had reports of wind gusts of 29 miles per hour coming off of turn 2 and blowing down the backstretch. Andy, what will that do to the car?
Okay, it does a few things, Doc. What it does is it shoots the car a lot faster down the backstretch, so when you get to turn 3, you're going a lot faster. So it makes the car have to, you know, this push or get loose and whatever you're fighting, it makes it even worse. And then as you come off turn 4, it's blowing across the nose, and it makes the car push off the corner. So that wind is definitely going to affect these cars. It looks like Carl Edwards is fighting some more things besides the wind, because he's dropped to the bottom side of the top 10 now. He's in 9th spot.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let's remember, this is a D-shaped racetrack. So you get on that back straightaway, it's only 5 degrees of banking, and you're pushing all of that speed. That's 4 or 5 miles an hour.
Caution on the racetrack. Debris here, lap 32. Debris on the front straightaway. The 77 car coming down pit road. That is Kevin Harvick, the reigning Busch Series champ.
Looks like he may have a soft right rear tire. This could be a break for Kevin. Yeah, he was coming down pit road. Looked like the caution came out as he was coming down pit road and decided to go back out on the track.
Matt Kenseth has led, he was the pole sitter, has led twice for 24 laps. Carl Edwards has led once for 8 laps. Denny Hamlin led a lap. Greg Biffle has yet to lead, although he has been right there and been a factor, although he did struggle a bit when we started at the beginning of the race with the car slipping up across the racetrack. '77, we are told, picked up a lap on the field by going through pit road during when the caution came out, and they slowed the field down, so they're going to black flag him and I guess allow the field to go back by.
He, like he said, he was just trying to get on pit road, and then the caution came out. He thought it was an opportunity maybe to save that lap he was going to lose, and he gassed it up, tried to beat the pace car out. NASCAR said, nope, we don't do that. You're going to have to go back behind these guys.
First pit stop of the day. They'll come down at 45 miles an hour. Here the leaders peel off, led by Matt Kenseth. Let's go down to Dave.
Running 5th, Brian Vickers will come into the attention of his Cup crew over the wall for the 10 car today. Loose in, tight in the center. They will make air pressure adjustments as well as perhaps a chassis adjustment. No wrenches in the rear window, just air pressure for Vickers at this point. Jamie.
And Jeff Burton back in that 29 car, running fourth. He started fourth. He said that car is way tight. He wants an air pressure adjustment, just about a half pound, and 1 round on that right rear. They put that ratchet in the right side of that rear window. Mike?
Matt Kenseth radioed in saying he needs to cut a little bit better. Tighten 3 and 4, pretty good in turns 1 and 2. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment to the left side tires. A 4-tire change in fuel for the 17 team. They're away.
Whoa, they're 4 wide, maybe 5 wide, trying to come off of pit road here. Talking about how wide the racetrack is. How wide is pit road? And they're out in the grass up there. That's Tony Stewart on the outside. Here's the race off. Let's see who got it here.
Oh,
Woo.
man.
I can't call that.
I think it's Denny Hamlin. Looked like Denny Hamlin to me.
Too close to call.
Looked like the Kentucky Derby. Seabiscuit by your nose. Might have been Hamlin here. Watch the great pit work here. Clint Bowyer's front tire changer, Shane Westerberg, out of Miami, Florida, getting it done for the 2-car. Kid from Kansas in a hurry to get off of pit road. Back with a green in just a moment. Back at Kansas Speedway under caution for the 2nd time a day. Debris on the racetrack, and what a race off of pit road. You think these crews aren't fired up? Watch these cars. They come 5 wide to the stripe trying to get there.
It doesn't get any better than that right there.
Look at Matt Kenseth. He just couldn't get those rear tires hooked up. Little pro stock dragster burn out there trying to get to that line. Just couldn't quite get there.
And here it is at the line.
This is almost too close to call, but you can see the 20 car just nips him at the line.
Well, that's as good as it gets right there.
17 and 16. Wow, it's that close. Great effort by Kyle Busch as well. Coming down lap 36. Oh, they're going to wave the green off there. Great crowd on hand. Couldn't ask for a better crowd. Couldn't ask for a better afternoon for the NASCAR Busch Series here at Kansas.
It looks like upon further review, though, Kevin Harvick is not going to lose that lap they took away from him because he was legal on that move that he made. So they reconsidered it, and they're going to let him keep that.
And he is at the tail end of the longest line. So
And still on the lead lap.
Still on the lead lap. So Kevin Harvick being shown back in 32nd position. There's the 77 car that Kevin owns. Tomorrow it's the 3rd of 10 races for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Championship. It's Clint Bowyer's hometown, but he's up against 2-time Kansas winner Jeff Gordon, who won it here in 2001 and 2002. Gordon, the only driver to win Kansas and the championship in the same year, that coming in 2001. Our live flag-to-flag coverage coming up 1 o'clock Eastern time on ABC. By the way, for those of you who want to watch happy hour coverage, 6:30 tonight, interesting scenario developing in happy hour. Jimmy Johnson, who's supposed to start on the pole, will not start on the pole because of incidents that he'd happened with his race car. So folks, tune in 6:30 Eastern time. You're going to find out why Jimmy Johnson's not going to start first. He's going to start last. They line up behind the pace car at Kansas Speedway. 37 of 200 laps. Denny Hamlin, last week's winner, is our leader. Jeff Burton behind him, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, and Kyle Busch. Pace car will peel away, so let's listen to the spotters as we go full throttle.
Let's be ready. Let's be ready. Let's be ready. Be ready. Be ready. Green flag. Green flag. Try to go on your right to 5. Outside. To your north. 17 right on your over. Slowing on the bottom ahead. Outside. Push your left side. Push your left side. Doing good, man. Inside, inside. All clear up to him, man. All clear. Taking that rhythm right there, man. There you go. That's how you do it. Show him who's the best guy out here now. Come on, let's do it. Come on, baby. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Still there. Clear. Play 7 inside.
Boys are getting after it out there.
Jeff Burton said his car was tight. They made an adjustment on that pit stop, and he went sailing by to take the lead for the first time today. Now here comes Matt Kenseth back, the 17 car on the bottom.
Now his groove's been up top. I don't know if he's going to like this bottom groove, and I don't think that Burton's going to give it to him.
I'll tell you what, he's going to hold off as much as he can, but I'm watching that number 5 car of Kyle Busch. When that flag dropped, it's like he stopped the throttle with both feet. He came flying around the outside, and he is charging.
And it is flat heated up front. Here's somebody we hadn't given much love to, that 10 car, Brian Vickers. coming into the shot.
Brian Vickers driving for Todd Braun in the Toyota, getting better and better each week. Up front, it's a gaggle of cars. Jamie Little.
Well, Jeff Burton, guys, just took the lead, and he's driving like a man possessed. He came over the radio before that restart. He said, there is no way that 20 got out ahead of us. No freaking way. I call it lying. So he was very fired up, obviously thought he won the race off pit road. He was fourth when he came in. He thought he was first exiting, and he was second, guys.
Well, from his seat, he didn't think that he got beat out. We saw it was just so close, but I think that the 20 car did beat him, but it did fire up Jeff Burton.
It made a statement when they flew the flag for the restart, didn't he? Now he gets passed by the 16 of Biffle. Burton back in second spot, and here comes, high, wide, and handsome, the 17 car way up high. And here comes the 5 that you were talking about, Brad, Kyle Busch. The 24 car coming in there, Casey Mears.
Man, I am telling you, these guys are up on the wheel. I'd be up on the couch at the house right now, Andy.
I'm up on the couch now.
This is awesome racing up front, and Brian Vickers is really coming hard. You got Kyle Busch mixing it up. Casey Mears is back in the picture. Jeff Burton, Greg Biffle, they're all out front charging. This is an unbelievable gaggle of race cars going after.
I can't believe how great this racing surface has become now. It's just all over, race all over.
Now you understand why there's never been a repeat winner here in NASCAR Busch competition. 6 years, 6 different winners, because it's just that competitive here. 24 car of Mears now. Again, the 5 car is 4. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th on your screen.
I'm watching Brian Vickers in this 10 car, and looks like that motor's got some long legs on it now. He gets on these straightaways and just starts going by these guys on the outside.
Dave Burns.
And one of the things that crew chief Trent Owens likes about Brian Vickers is his ability to search for lines. And that's especially important today with that wind blowing toward turn 4. It can really sort of mess up what you're doing. So he likes the way his driver can search around. And right now he's gotten back up to, what's he running right now, guys? Currently in 6th position or 5th? Did he move back up?
He's still fighting.
He lost one position on pit road, but driving very well and fighting for those top spots.
Matt Kenseth also, Dave, fighting for that spot. He tries to sail back by the 29 car of Jeff Burton. Remember, Jeff Burton is battling to put that car back atop the owner's point standings after the disappointment last week. They had dropped down to 39 points behind the 60 car. Richard Childress owns the 29. The 60, of course, owned by the Roush Fenway Group. 2 wide, down the back straightaway, racing all around this racetrack.
Here comes Matt Kenseth now going back under Greg Biffle. Looks like that little adjustment that Greg made on his car on the side of the wall hadn't hurt it too much.
No, it doesn't either. It looks like it tightened up just a little bit. Maybe tightened the racer up just a little bit. He's keeping that thing off the wall, and he's got him a nice high line. He's getting a good arc off the corner, getting a great run. Matt Kenseth snug up and under him, but boy, they are racing.
Andy, you talked about how drivers on a super speedway like a long-legged engine. What is that?
That means that baby will run. You put your foot in it, and that thing struts out through there and starts making some ground on the straightaway.
What happens, though, Andy? Why do these cars build up great runs over a long period of time? Sometimes they're not as good on the restarts, and it takes them 5, 6, 8, 10 laps, and then all of a sudden the car just comes from out of nowhere. What causes that?
Now, a lot of that is the setup that you got under the car. It could be air pressure. You could have lower air pressures in the car. You could have some softer springs, or maybe just a different kind of setup that comes alive. Maybe even a shock package that comes alive after the car's run just a few laps.
Great action up front here. We are pushing 50 laps of 200. Typical Kansas Speedway Busch Series action. Anything to change at any moment. Back in just a moment. Typical NASCAR Busch Series racing, Kansas Speedway style. We've had 10 lead changes already in the first 52 laps, and folks, it's just going to get that much better. Up front, Greg Biffle is the leader in the 16 car, having gone by his teammate Matt Kenseth. Kyle Busch had his hands full of his car number 5. He'd been driving up to the pack, up on that wheel, as you heard Brad say. Now watch the Busch's hands inside the car.
You see the 20 car get a great run on Kyle, and you see he was already sawing the wheel before Denny Hamlin got to him and actually touched him. So he had him pretty jacked up air loose right there. You can see it right here. That air get packed up behind him, and he started sawing on that wheel, and he can't get in the throttle like he needs to, and actually kind of checks up a little bit, and that's why you see the contact.
Yeah.
And you can see right here, both of these guys had to check up and watch this 10 car Brian Vickers. He says, okay, boys, you can duke it out up there. I'm just going to go ahead and pass you.
This was off of turn 4. Here comes Vickers by. Now watch right side of your screen. You'll see Casey Mears. Okay, you guys are going to play. I think I'll just go right on by with Vickers.
It's almost, Andy, like in that air, they're locked together. And, Hamlin moves in behind Busch, and you see his hands go left and right. It's like he picks up the rear end of that race car. They can't get away from one another.
Battle for 11th position. Tony Stewart in the 33 car. As you ride along with Brad Keselowski in the 88 right behind him. It is Stewart in 12th right now. Keselowski in 14th. Scott Wimmer is there in the 21, and that's Kelly Byers in the 47 left side of your screen.
That's 12 spots Tony Stewart's knocked off since the start of the race. Boy, look at Brad Keselowski giving him all he wants right here.
Nice move right into the middle. I spoke to Brad Keselowski yesterday and asked him what his goals were for today, and he said he wants to get a top 5 finish. He feels like he's got a car that's capable of being up around the front of this thing, and he needs it for his momentum going forward. Jamie, you got a little more?
Well, I talked to Brad Keselowski during qualifying, and he said there was a skip in their engine every 2 to 3 laps in practice. It would just shut off. And I said, well, did you guys get it figured out? He said, we can't quite put our finger on it, but this car definitely has a gremlin. Well, so far, guys, that gremlin's working to his advantage.
Scott Wimmer, the 21 car, also a factor here. This car, one of the cars owned by Richard Childress Racing, that's had 6 different drivers this year. And now he tries to go back on the inside of Keselowski as Tony Stewart comes down across the nose.
It's like Keselowski's getting a little driving lesson here. Running with these guys, you can learn a lot.
Great experience for Brad Keselowski, and he's such a hard charger. And running right there with Scott Wimmer. Scott Wimmer has an interesting thing going on. As I spoke to his crew chief yesterday, he has the 31 Cup team pitting his car this week. They're trying to give him every advantage they possibly can to get him that victory that we've been talking about for him all year long. And he's marching towards the front. Got a good run going.
22 cars, Mike Bliss coming into the picture. As he runs so well in this Dodge owned by Armando Fitz here, and Bliss will be in this car for the remainder of the year because he has earned that ride.
He has driven that car so hard for these guys and really made them a contender in this series.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with Mike as well. Mike feels like an old man in the series out here with all these youngsters, but he is a super race car driver, and he's still trying to prove himself. Even though he's been around for a long, long time in this sport, he's running the Truck Series, won a championship, a great race car driver. He's still trying to prove himself against these youngsters every weekend.
Here's another boy in this 15 car. He used to drive for me, Paul Menard. He's another kid here that I think has got a bright future ahead of him. But look at these guys. These guys too wide, too deep, right up ahead of Paul. You see him using that draft down the straightaway. When you get those cars side by side, you can actually use a little bit of that draft.
That's 12th through 17th on the screen there. The 21 car Wimmer now being shown in 12th position, trying to move to the inside of Tony Stewart. While you watch this, we'll note for you, Casey Mears fan. Casey has been on and off of pit road for a 4-tire change. He lost a lap. Now being shown in 32nd position, the first car off of the lead lap.
And Paul Menard using that momentum now to get up in between these guys. Passes Mike Bliss. You see Ruderman right here in this 99 we're riding with. He passes him also.
Battle for second position. The 29 car getting a little racier again, and this time a little higher up on the racetrack than he was running before.
These guys hadn't cooled off any. They're still driving hard.
Boy, and there's plenty of racing room, which is just so exciting to watch because they're able to keep their pace up, stay in those mid-33s by going all over the racetrack, a little bit low, arcing the thing off the corner, using up all that real estate to show what type of race car drivers they are, and that's why they're the best in the world.
Back to Paul Menard as he's trying to find a way to get around the 22, and right behind him, Ruderman not letting him get away at all.
Hey, David Ruderman is really locked up. He's following Paul Menard. He's riding his tracks. Andy, Paul drove for you. What were some of his strengths as a driver?
He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he brings that car back home clean. No dents, no bruises. I mean, he brings it back clean every week, and it helps you make where you can make progress and really work on your race team.
Dave, you got a little more?
Yeah, the 99 car of David Ruderman, they were a little bit tight, hard to turn that car during the first run. They made an air pressure adjustment on that first stop with a 4-tire change. Restarted 21st, so he's picked up a few spots since that restart. Still a little bit tight, though, he reports on the radio, but faster.
Here we go. This is for the lead. Jeff Burton, Greg Biffle.
And look how high Greg Biffle is on that race. I mean, he is sucked up to that wall when they come off of turn 3 down there. It's incredible. I mean, he can't be more than 6 inches off that wall.
He jumped up on the outside groove right off the start here and just stayed committed to it. You can see it's been working for him. Let's see if Jeff Burton's going to be able to get by him. A little wiggle on that 29. See, when they get underneath these other guys in that bottom groove, they can carry that speed through the middle of the corner, but it's just so hard to overcome that momentum that the outside guy has off the corner.
What about tire wear, Andy? I mean, last few weeks, that's all we've talked about is how hard the race tire is and tire wear. What is that here? Is it a lot of tire wear, a lot of grip? What happens?
Well, the outside groove, maybe you might not be able to maybe not wear the tire as much because you're not bending the car so hard. You're letting the car roll freer, so maybe you get just a little less tire wear.
Well, it got him with the lap traffic there, but watch the 16 car kind of come back on the bottom of the racetrack. You see the 29 car? He was all the way up the top of the track and going in the corner and dove all the way down almost to the white line to try to take advantage of the lap traffic. Jeff Burton now assumes the lead for the second time today. He had led 2 laps earlier in the afternoon. 63 laps are complete. Welcome back to the yellow 300. It has been hammered down from the get-go. Great 2 and 3 wide racing. 11 lead changes. It happens in a hurry here at Kansas Speedway. And the guys who have been the rabbits in years past, well, they've gotten roasted and toasted before it's over. Matt Kenseth led the most laps here in 2006, Biffle in 05, and neither one of them were able to win the race, although they both finished in second position.
Yeah, it looks like getting out front's not the place to be, but I'll tell you what, today could be a different story. You got Jeff Burton, and I tell you, that dog looks like he's ready to hunt, and he is gone.
I think I like it out front. If you're not the lead dog, the senior never changes. I like to be the leader.
Oh. 0 cars gone to the garage area. Eric McClure, by the way, in the 7 car. Mike Wallace back on the racetrack, and the 6 of David Reagan, who had trouble earlier with some power issues. He is back on the track as well. 2 of the carburetor problem with the 6 car of David Reagan. He's back on the racetrack, our leading Rookie of the Year points contender.
Looks like his 29 car's hooked up now. He's gotten around these guys. Now he can run his groove. He's running good, solid lap times. I see a few lap times coming from behind him, though. He's got a few guys coming. He might have to keep his eye peeled in that mirror.
Yeah, his tires start to go away just a little bit. But I'll tell you, go all the way down to 11th position there. We got young Kelly Byers, who's got a good run in that 47 car. That young man is moving forward, a rookie, and having a good run today.
Yeah, he's running lap times comparable to the leader, too, so he's coming.
Kelly Byers, who thought he was going to run a full year in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, but he was asked to come over and jump in that 47 cars for the Wood Brothers JTG, and he has done a heck of a job here in the last 15 races.
He really has. When young John Wood stepped out, he stepped in immediately and had a good run right out of the box and has taken good care of the race car, and it's good to see this young man. He's a nice young man, and he's doing a great job.
His best finish 7th at Kentucky, a 1.5-mile racetrack, by the way. 18 car had issues early. Kevin Conway double fueling. He was the lucky dog, by the way, and you're only allowed to fuel once, Andy. He came down pit road. I think that's probably a rookie team mistake.
Well, this team's not really a rookie team. He's a rookie driver, but they can only fuel it once, and that's a rule that they came up with so that the lucky dog guy doesn't have an advantage on fuel over the field. So they just made a little mistake. Boy, it sure cost him.
This is Kevin's last race in this race car. Joe Gibbs on the machine, and he doesn't know exactly what he's going to do next year. He hopes he washes out and gets another opportunity. He feels like he hasn't had a chance to show his hands, Doc and Andy, because he's been at all Cup competing events on the weekend, so he's had a tough time.
Yeah, 7th and final start, his 13th career start in the Busch. His best finish, by the way, was the last time he was in this car, 20th at California Speedway back at the beginning of September.
Saw Mike Bliss go around him. That's the 13th place car. Here comes the 99 car of David Ruderman and 15 Paul Menard. They've been glued to each other the whole race, it seems like.
Well, they have. They're staying together and they're moving forward. And this young man, David Ruderman, is just a tremendous race car driver. And we saw earlier this week that Michael Waltrip trying to get him signed up. And I'll tell you, Michael Waltrip Racing's got a superstar in David Ruderman, and they need to get that ink on that contract pretty quick, I'd say.
They're working on him. I know they want to get him in that car and get him committed. And I'll be surprised if he doesn't sign back up with him.
Yeah.
Brian Vickers in the 10 car going by the 17. You saw Brian with a hand out the left side window there doing a little signaling. His car all the way on the bottom of the racetrack. Good run for Vickers. Dave?
And they're working on that car, trying to get it to its optimum operating level. About lap 67, he radioed in that it was starting to tighten up. Since then, really no report from Brian at this point. They're also monitoring the wind, not just how much it's picked up or where it's gone, but what direction it's coming from. And fortunately for these guys, to keep from guessing too much, it's blowing in the same direction, turn 1 to turn 4, basically.
5th time this year, Dave, that Vickers has driven this car, the Toyota, for Todd Braun. He has 2 top 10 finishes, 6th at Michigan and 6th at Richmond. He's done awfully well. he has led about every time he's been in this car and trying to put it together and maybe take this Toyota to victory lane. It would be the second win, by the way, for Toyota as a manufacturer in Busch competition.
I talked to the Toyota people down there in the garage area, and they were talking about having Vickers back in this car being an advantage for them this week because they've really struggled on the mile-and-a-half racetracks, and that's where Vickers is one of the best. And so they're really hoping that Vickers can get in here, get a good finish, number one, but also help the other teams.
And as we know throughout both series, the mile-and-a-half racetrack, that is the bread and butter of the programs. You have to have those staples.
Battle for fifth spot, the 20 car. Denny Hamlin trying to hold off Kyle Busch, who's way at the top of the racetrack.
Folks, I'll tell you what, if you ever get to go watch a qualifying event or for a Nextel Cup event or a Busch event, and you can stand somewhere near the racetrack wall and watch Kyle Busch qualify a race car, it's got to be the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't think I want to stand next to the racetrack when Kyle Busch is qualifying. I like being up high where we can see him up here.
That youngin' will flat drive the wheels off one
It's
dot.
almost like he doesn't know the track is paved. He's that dirt track, and he's sideways through the corner. The car's got to be loose.
I mean, you hear him coming around off these corners, and a lot of these guys are cracking the throttles, and he is just pedaling that race car as hard as he can go.
For a crew chief, you couldn't ask for anything more than a driver that gives you 100% of the time.
I'll tell you what, he climbs into that new ride next year, these guys better watch out. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's a future Cup champion right there.
These guys moving in on Chris Horn's car number 58. That's Chris in the red car as they go by. Again, the 20 and the 5 car battling for fifth position. Jeff Burton, the leader. Biffle in second spot. Vickers back to third. Kenseth fourth. Hamlin and Kyle Busch. The battle you're watching right here is fifth and sixth.
Just good racing all over the racetrack. You can go all the way back to 20th position. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Kevin Harvick's marched his way up for about 10 positions, and young Stephen Light out of beautiful Asheville, North Carolina. They're mixing it up pretty good.
In case you haven't guessed it, folks, Brad Daugherty is from beautiful Asheville, North Carolina. Didn't understand that comment. 80 laps of 200 are in the books. Denny Hamlin, Kenseth, Vickers, Biffle, and how about Jeff Burton trying to go for win number 4 in 2007?
Last week in Dover, mayhem reigned on the Monster Mile, but nothing could stop Carl Edwards from flipping his way back into victory lane. Next up, NASCAR navigates its way into Kansas for the LifeLock 400. The thrill of the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup continues tomorrow at 1 on ABC.
And 8 of those 12 championship chasers are in the field for today's NASCAR Busch Series 300-miler, coming up on 1/3 distance here at the Kansas Speedway. And Jeff Burton, one of the championship guys, is out in front. What was a very tight race for the lead is spread out just a little bit. Burton now opening up nearly 5 seconds on Greg Biffle, and one of the reasons for it is speed fall off. Check out the lap that he ran on this set of tires, the fastest one, and the last lap time that he ran. 6 miles an hour difference between the two. And as we swing upstairs to Doc, Andy, and Brad, Andy, let's talk about speed fall off on a set of tires as we come up on another pit stop and what that means to a driver behind the wheel.
Alan, we mentioned how the tires fall off here, and we had a lady write in last week and say, I didn't see a single tire fall off. What we're talking about, folks, is we're talking about how the speed dissipates as the tires begin to wear.
Yeah, we use that as just a term, fall off. That means the lap times start out fast and then they fall off, and that's what we use there. And what happens is the driver just has to start searching for grooves and try to, we got a caution.
Caution up across turn 4, the 7 car that's already had issues coming down across. Whoa, and a near miss by the 5 car. Kyle Busch just got by inside of Mike Wallace.
That was a close call right there.
Slowed it down and spun out on me.
Looks like Mike just run off down in the corner and turn 4, and it just came right out from underneath him, Andy. I don't know what happened there. It looks like just got a little loose, and the rear end came up, and he backed it in the wall.
You saw Mike Wallace is sitting in the middle of the track.
I just slowed up, and the thing spun out.
And then here comes these other guys, and they...
Yeah, hit the wall hard. I'm coming at you right now.
Yeah, Mike had the issue being on pit road before with the smoking early in the race. Now, watch the spin and watch the 5 car using pit road as an escape lane to get by on the inside. Here's Mike in the 7 car with the spin.
He just loops the car, gets into the wall hard here, and as he's coming down the racetrack, you see these guys coming behind. Kyle Busch actually on the apron. You see 17 of Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, and watch Kyle Busch just get by.
Wow.
And it's legal to use pit road in this instance, as long as they slow down to a reasonable speed once they get there.
Onboard camera here, the Geico Chevy for Mike.
Car just got out from under Mike. You can hear the throttle. He gets in it, starts spinning the wheels.
Andy, I don't think what most people realize with these race cars is if you're a casual fan watching this, how out on the edge these guys drive these cars. I mean, they're borderline out of control all the time.
They are driving it to the speed that the car is just before spinning out. And if you just make a little mistake and drive it just over that edge, we call it, this is what happens.
Because that's where it's the fastest, correct?
That's right. Oh, you got to put it right on that edge.
Yeah.
Again, Mike Wallace came into today 10th in the points. And if you want to understand why it's important to be in the top 10 in the points, folks, the top 5 last year in the Busch Series averaged $1.7 million in earnings. The top 15 made over $1 million. It's important to stay as far up in the points as you can. Pit stops, Dave.
10 car of Brian Vickers loose going into the corners, tight coming off the corners. They'll change 4 tires. They'll also put rounds of wedge in both sides of the rear of this car, trying to get that spoiler up in the air a little bit more for Vickers. Jamie?
And Jeff Burton was complaining for a while he didn't have any rear grip. He said it was not good. He was all over the place. However, that was such a long green flag run. It came to him, so they're just going to make a slight air pressure adjustment, put 4 fresh tires on there. Mike?
Greg Biffle radioed in saying the car needs to turn just a little bit better. They're going to make a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment to the left side tires, a 4-tire change and fuel for the 16 car who came in running second. They're still on the jacks. They'll drop him now as he loses several positions. Many cars going by on pit road.
Race off of pit road. Looks like Burton will get it there. Great effort by Burton. Vickers up a spot. Kyle Busch up 3 spots, as was Denny Hamlin. Greg Biffle, you heard it on the call a moment ago that he lose 3 positions. And Scott Wimmer, another good pit stop for the 21 guys who have been maligned a little bit early in the year, but did a great job on that pit stop. Hood up here on the 28 car. Johnny Sauter, and that is Jackman Mike Casto. There you see the camera on board. Mike is from Proctor, West Virginia, giving us the bird's eye view underneath the hood here of the 28 car.
Still trying to figure out what's wrong with this car.
90 of 200 laps complete, working caution number 3 on the day. Back with the restart in just a moment. Welcome back to Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas. NASCAR Busch Series action presented by Principal Financial Group. Under caution for the 3rd time of day. Coming out on lap 88, the 7 car. The Chevy for Mike Wallace spinning up in turn 4 and tagging the wall. Mike, who had an issue early in the race with some smoke from the car, had gone back on the racetrack and the car just abruptly went around on him and he had contact with the wall. Race off of pit road. Jeff Burton being shown as the leader. Brian Vickers in the 2nd spot. Denny Hamlin 3rd. Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, and Carl Edwards the top 6. Some issues on these guys coming on pit road a moment ago. The 20 car. Now watch the 20 car right side of your screen, and the 5 car. These guys are pulling up to pit.
Yeah, that is not legal. NASCAR doesn't allow this, and they're going to penalize the 20 car and the 5 car for these infractions right here. They're reviewing all this. That's why we're holding this one to go, is to sort this out. The 20 and the 5. The 5 car is actually going too fast entering, but the 20 car is racing and pulling up to pit.
And the penalty is?
It's tail end of the longest line, which right now is going to probably be the lead lap line. Is 25 cars long.
41 car, Brian Clausen is the lucky dog. The Chip Ganassi car, the 18-year-old, making his 2nd ever start in the NASCAR Busch Series. Started at Richmond. There's a look at Brian. Young man out of Noblesville, Indiana. And possibly a developing story on our points leader, Carl Edwards. Mike?
That's right, Carl Edwards radioed in not too long ago saying the engine feels like it's weak. It almost feels like there's a leak in the exhaust. His crew chief Pierre Coutel trying to calm him down, saying just ride it out. We'll see what happens. But right now, obviously some concern behind the wheel of the 60.
Roush cars are having some problems. We had David Reagan with the carburetor issue, and now this with Carl Edwards.
Feeling weak. That's not a good feeling on a track where you got to have the horsepower. Jack Roush, right side of your screen there with the hat on. Pierre Coutel, the crew chief there in the middle. Well, tonight, two national championship favorites take the field on ESPN and ABC. On ABC, the Trojans of USC try and stay undefeated as they head north for a meeting with the Washington Huskies. On ESPN, defending national champion and undefeated Florida looks to avenge their only loss last season as they welcome Auburn to the Swamp in Gainesville. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. And College Football Prime Time presented by Hampton Hotels at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. College football lives here.
Tell you what, Doc, Tommy Tupperville and the boys at Auburn better buckle them chin straps. They've got off to a slow start, and they got to go down to the Swamp and play a little football today.
They got their hands full in Gainesville, and these guys have their hands full here with Stephen Wallace's car beneath the hood of his Dodge.
A lot of engine problems here. People trying to figure out what's going on now on the 66 car.
We definitely have an oil leak.
Saying an oil leak.
Kind of similar to what we saw earlier with his Uncle Mike with the oil leak early on in the race. And young Stephen just trying to make laps.
Evidently. Go by a bit while and take a look at it.
Continues each week to try to make laps and get some consistency and get some finishes. And it's a tough break. Hopefully he can bounce back. And it's been a tough year for this young man, but I think the perseverance is going to make him a better race car driver in the future.
It's tough enough for these guys to get the experience, but to have problems with the car.
Upon further review, we're being told as you watch Stephen Wallace go back, the 20 car was not penalized for pitting too wide. He's allowed to start behind the 10 car. The 5 car, though, was told he was too fast on pit road. He's been penalized at the back of the longest line. Let's listen into the spoilers as we go full throttle.
Still slow. Green flag.
Clear low, stand on your bumper, stand over to the outside. Stand back on your bumper now, on your bumper. Look how you beat them.
No pressure, man. No pressure. Still in?
Back to back. Full car lane back out. Still there. Clear. With you. Be there when you come off the corner. Still there, still there. Clear, let's go.
Lots of smoke from beneath the car. That's the hood of the 60 car. Carl Edwards, and that is our points leader.
He's got a problem with the front end, the left front.
Get down.
He's definitely cut a left front tire. Looks like it's done some damage to the front end.
It looks like he must have gotten into someone, Andy, on that restart. Just cut that tire down. You get into people and you knock the valves off those things. You see him there about mid-pack back.
Top of your picture there. Watch for the contact. Oh, the 38 just spun around. Leffler loops around.
Well, I'll tell you, they have got us up on the pony up here.
We can't hardly keep up.
Every time we turn around.
Talk about turning around. Looks like somebody turned Jason Leffler around. Here's the 37 car, Bobby East. Yep, he's going to go around again.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got the 88 car of Brad Keselowski. It looks like he's hit the wall.
Straight, but I slapped a couple times.
Let's go back to the Carl Edwards, our points leader now. The restart at lap 95. We'd heard that the engine was a little bit sluggish. Watch the restart now, top of your screen.
He's sneaking up on the outside of the 17 car. Matt Kenseth. It's a good restart.
It's like Biffle comes up, slides right in front of him, closes the spot off, and boy, all right there.
Oh, it looks like Matt Kenseth didn't know he was on his outside and just went up high, and just scraped that fender, blew the tire out.
Clear high, clear all around.
This will be a break for Carl Edwards because watch the 88 and the 38.
Well, he gets that little wobble, Andy, and you can see Jason just lost it just a little bit.
He just needed a little bit more room, and the 88 car, Brad Keselowski, was just on the outside of him. Very unfortunate for Keselowski. He gets a lot of damage out of this. See these other guys doing a good job getting by. There goes Kyle Busch.
Just got that little wobble. Didn't know he was there. Didn't know Brad was there, and collected him up and tore up two pretty good race cars.
Now from Brad Keselowski.
See here, he's just digging on the outside. All of a sudden, he's just out of room. Nothing Brad Keselowski could do right there.
No, and Jason Leffler also, it's not his fault. It just wobbled on him, and there was nowhere to go.
And this is just hard, what we call hard racing.
Yep.
They were running in 16th and 17th position at the time. Here's the 60 car, Edwards on pit road.
Now these guys will get a chance to work on this car and get it fixed. Try to get this fender patched up.
You know, Pierre Cattell told me yesterday on this race car and with this race team, they're just trying to get back to where they started. They want their baselines because at the beginning of the season, they were so good.
Under caution for the 4th time today, coming out on lap 97. Back with a restart in just a moment.
Halfway through today's NASCAR Busch Series race at Kansas Speedway, presented by Principal Financial Group, and Brian Vickers is out in front. We are under the caution flag. Caution that was a big break for Carl Edwards, the championship leader. The caution also giving the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass to Casey Mears. Made an unscheduled pit stop earlier, got a lap behind. He's back on the lead lap right now. We saw the contact on the racetrack between Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards that cut that left front tire down. Here was Carl's reaction on the radio afterwards.
Tell Matt that he's got one coming. That is bull-loney. I should ask Matt what the hell his problem is, Jason. Pissed because he can't block the outside.
Not a very happy driver, Carl Edwards. Going to be back in 31st place now. The 7th car, 1 lap down, Doc.
Frustration from that driver. For more information on radio communications, log on to ESPN.com. Search word communications. Rarely do you see Carl Edwards get that frustrated.
He feels like he was wronged right there by Matt Kenseth because he snuck up on the outside, got a good start, and Matt didn't like it.
Green flag going back after it here. Vickers in the Toyota is the leader in front of Jeff Burton and Denny Hamlin.
See if we can get a good clean restart here after that last little fiasco. It was a little chaotic. Let's see if these boys can stretch them out here. See 3 wide racing? No.
Yeah, this is the first time Brian Vickers has had his car out there in clean air.
That Toyota has been fast this year when it's been out front. He has been a weapon out front, just flying. Let's see if he can make some distance.
Vickers led 19 laps at Michigan, led 37 laps at California. Last time he was in this car on a mile or a track of 1.5 miles or bigger, and he is leading here as we come down for the halfway. 98 laps to go, just past the halfway here at Kansas City.
These Toyotas make big horsepower, and this is the best place they can take advantage of it is on these 1.5 miles. And Brian Vickers is flat getting it done right here.
Yeah, that horsepower you're talking about, that car gets out in front. We talk about all that clean air all the time. That old motor gets a sip of that nice, cool, clean air, and it makes a ton of horsepower.
Mr. Biffle back toward the front.
He made some repairs on his car during that last pit stop. Took a little extra time to do it. It gets a little loose off turn 4.
Well, I'll tell you, Tony Stewart just drove his race car clean down at the bottom of the apron to go on to Brent Sherman to pick up about 3 spots. Those smokes coming towards the front.
Seems like these guys get these fresh tires on there and they feel like King Kong.
It's like having a new pair of tennis shoes on, baby. You hear that squeaking in the gym? That's the new sneakers.
5 car. Remember, we told you that Kyle Busch had that violation in the pits, was back at the end of the longest line. He is setting sail on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by the 90 car of Stephen Light, who's had some great runs and a good one today.
Yeah, well, Stephen Light's marching up towards the front, and as you know, we've heard next year this Doug Yates program now that their Busch program is going to go away. So Stephen Light may be a free agent next year.
16 and 20, Denny Hamlin trying to make a move on the inside of Biffle. That is for 3rd position.
Like I said, the 16 car had some damage, and they fixed it under that last caution. And hopefully they can get this thing going again. He's hit the wall 2 different times during the race.
Both made mention earlier about Denny Hamlin, how his race car runs so well at the bottom and the middle of the racetrack. But Andy, you made a mention that he's going to have to eventually work his way up top of that racetrack to pick up some speed.
Look who showed up to the party here. The 2 car.
I'll tell you what, we're not in Kansas anymore, are we, North? Here he comes.
Actually, we are back in Kansas.
Well, I guess we are.
Trouble on the racetrack. Oh, Kevin Conway in the 18 car.
Well, he's had a tough day and really trying to have a good run. Kevin wants to have a good run for his sponsors and for his opportunity for next year, and looks like that's going to come to an end.
Yeah, that will bring out caution for the 5th time, and Kevin's 7th run and 7th and final run here in 2007 will end up not the way he wanted it to. He wanted to be able to get a top 15 finish. He got a top 20 last time out at California.
We're riding with Kevin Conway right here. Almost looks like he may have gotten some contact from behind the way that car wiggled. Lost control instantly.
See if we can see here, see if he got a little tap. No, he looked like he was by himself, Andy. Looked like he was by himself and just lost the rear end of that race car.
Sure jumped right out from under him, though.
Marcus Ambrose, the Australian rookie driver, will get the free pass. He is the first car a lap down, so he will get to go back around the leaders, and we will now have 26 cars on the lead lap. Back in just a moment. We welcome you back to our live coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series at Kansas, presented by Principal Financial Group. We are under caution for the 5th time today. The 18 car, Kevin Conway spinning, having contact with the wall, and under this yellow, the 17 car of Matt Kenseth opted to come on pit road.
We saw him come down pit road. Very surprised move for me to see him come down pit road, but he had a loose wheel, so they had to get that fixed and had a good chance to do it under caution here. Even though it's going to set him back pretty far, it's a lot better than having to make a green flag pit stop to do that.
Kenseth will be back in 22nd position. There are 26 cars on the lead lap. Leaders up front, Brian Vickers, the Toyota, Jeff Burton, the 3-time winner in the Chevy. Biffle is 3rd, Hamlin 4th, and all the way up from 23rd starting spot, the best he has been today, Clint Boyer, the kid from Kansas, being shown 5th overall. And how about the Joplin, Missouri native McMurray in 6th? Pace car getting set to pull away. Let's listen in as we go full throttle.
Pace cars in. All right, boss. Pace cars in. Let's be ready. Let's be ready. Be ready. Be ready. Be ready. Green flag. Green flag. Green flag. Green flag. Green flag. Head back to the 20. Clear. Hello, if you need us. Still inside. Still inside. 4 car open by. Go back. Go back. Still down there. Still down there. Clear. Clear. There you go. You pulled him up off there. Clear high. Clear high.
Whoa, 3 and 4 wide, way up across the racetrack is Jeff Burton, the 2nd place car. They were 3 wide down the back. They're still 3 wide, now 4 wide off of turn 4 as they come to the stripe. Vickers the leader, Burton holding on the 2nd spot, and Biffle all over the bumper. There's that battle, 3 and 4 wide, back 15th on back.
Carl Edwards is driving the wheels off that car. He's making it 3-4 wide on the apron through the front straightaway.
I mean, he got on that apron and got below Casey Atwood, and I mean, he was just going to go forward no matter what. Casey was charging. It was 4 wide, and Carl slipped it in front, and he is on a mission.
And here's 2nd place.
How about Mr. Biffle on a mission here, trying to take 2nd spot away from the 29 car of Jeff Burton.
I'll tell him good luck down there. That hadn't been the groove to get by these guys. Looks like he's going to get it done right here.
You heard Carl Edwards' frustration after the contact on the racetrack. Now, Edwards is a man on a mission. Trouble, a car up across the track. That is Kelly Byers, the 47 car that has come into contact, hard contact with the right side of that car.
He's knocked the rear end housing completely out from under the car. Saw the springs flying.
Yeah, he had a good run going, had a good day going. Kelly had a super opportunity to get a good finish today. Boy, I hate to see that.
Yeah, he doesn't know how much damage he really has here. He was going to try to drive it back to the pit area. Throws that window net down. Got a lot of smoke in the car from these tires rubbing.
He has knocked that axle, Andy, it looks like, all the way over to the left side.
You're not on fire there. You're okay.
Latest caution flag up in turn 2, and you saw the impact.
Wow, look at the springs and everything flying out of that race car. That is a heck of a lick.
Yep.
On the restart a moment ago, we told you how fired up Carl Edwards was. Now watch him get pinched here.
This was coming down the front straightaway, and you see Paul Menard squeezes the 60 car right down on the 70.
I mean, he run poor old Mark Green so far down off the bottom of the apron there. He was just, that would not be denied. Look at him.
This is Scott Wimmer's view.
Let's see right here. Let's just keep digging. Clear.
That's just incredible.
I mean, Carl's driving with a little bit of an attitude right now.
Boy, he really is, I'll tell you.
Look at the wheel mark. That's Mark Green's right front tire. That just did a big donut on the side of that 60 car.
I tell you, I don't think Mark had any idea what he was getting ready to get mixed up with when Carl took off. I think he was just going to race with him. He was trying to get back in the hustle.
What Carl's trying to do is hustle up to the front and be the first car 1 lap down, trying to get that lucky dog, get this lap back.
Man.
Kelly Byers actually was. Here's Kelly coming down across the racetrack, the young man driving for the Wood Brothers JTG. Making his 14th start of the year. Best finish was 7th early in the year. at Kentucky Speedway. Under caution, back with a restart here in just a moment. Back at Kansas Speedway, beautiful afternoon for NASCAR stock car racing, and a gorgeous, a tremendous crowd on hand, and they got to be enjoying what they're seeing, particularly one of the Kansas drivers, our in-race reporter, Clint Boyer, who started back in 23rd spot, has driven all the way up into the top 5. Let's visit with Clint.
Hey, Clint Boyer, Andy Peter up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Got it.
Hey, Clint, done a great job, man. You moved that car all the way up in the top 5 now. Have you guys just had a pretty clean race, or are you dealing with any issues?
So far, so good. You know, BB&T Chevrolet, the guys have been doing a good job, giving good pit stops. So just keep adjusting on it, a little fine-tuning here and there. It keeps getting faster and faster. So hopefully we'll have something for them when it counts.
What do you think about this groove? I've seen the high groove really been paying off for a lot of guys. Is that where you're running?
I've been running down on the bottom. I'm just really loose. A little scared to go up there just yet, but we keep getting it tuned in better and better. And on these restarts, it keeps working better up there. So I'd say you'll be seeing me up there for too long.
These restarts have been really wild. I've been watching every one of them. But what about, who do you think's tough out there? Who's the car to beat?
Better be us.
Hey, I like that kind of thinking, man. Good job. Good luck out there.
Hi, bud.
Clint Boyer all the way from 23rd starting spot right now to being shown 5th. Great job by Dan Deeringhoff and company getting him up there. While we're under caution here, let's show you what happened to the 47 car, Kelly Byers. Look way up ahead from this onboard camera from Brad Keselowski's car.
Andy, it looks like they're just racing along. It looks like there's a little bit of an incident up in the bright yellow car. And then you see Kelly Byers get up, slow up, and all of a sudden just overcorrect. I mean, that car just hooked.
Yeah, he looks like he was just trying to avoid this wreck that maybe was going to happen in front of him, and his car turned sideways, and when he tried to correct it, it, like you said, just hooked, turned dead right in the wall.
Oh, man, and that was a harder lick than we thought it was. He hit pretty hard.
Cleanup continuing here at Kansas Speedway. We have 85 laps to go. We've had 12 lead changes among 6 drivers now working caution for the 6th time today. On Friday, motorsports lost an icon as NHRA founder Wally Parks passed away in California at the age of 94 due to complications of pneumonia. A native Oklahoman whose family moved to California in the early 1920s, Parks founded the NHRA in 1951 and served on its board of directors until his death. He was drag racing's first inductee into the International Motorsports Hall of Fame in 1992 at Talladega. Again, NHRA founder Wally Parks gone at the age of 94. When you talk about Wally Parks, you talk about him in the same frame. You had mentioned a Bill France Sr. or Bill France Jr. You know, what an incredible visionary he was, and what he did for drag racing no one else has ever done.
Yeah, I was a big fan I am a big fan of the NHRA and come across Mr. Parks on several occasions. Very, very nice man. And I used to wander around the pits at all the drag strips, watching the Warren Johnsons and John Forces and those people. And he did a great job running that sport, and it is what it is today because of him.
Matt Kenseth back on pit road again in the 17 car. We told you he had made that pit stop on lap 106 because of a loose right front tire. Now he's come back in again.
Kind of crew chiefs down on pit road scratching their heads wondering why Matt Kenseth is making these stops. I was thinking maybe he was on the outside of his window of fuel, but really I don't think anybody could go near this far. What he's thinking maybe is if it does go green, he can just make a quick splash and have a full load of fuel. Mike, have you got more?
Yeah, Andy, the reason the 17 came down pit road that time was because Matt radioed in not too long ago saying that on their last pit stop, he felt like they put the right side tires on the left side of the race car. Now, they checked it that time down pit road and discovered that Matt was wrong, just didn't have the right feel, and they did put the right side tires on the right side.
Kenseth back on the racetrack and being shown in 18th position. Here they come down. Brian Vickers of Toyota. Vickers has led once for 23 consecutive laps.
Wow, Paul Menard gets a great jump on the outside. Jumps around Clint Boyer.
Menard back in 5th position. That's the 15 car. Vickers the leader. Biffle, then Jeff Burton, Hamlin, and Menard.
Oh, Menard gets just another car here. Great restart.
Boy, Paul got a super jump, and he is absolutely pedaling that thing as they come down the backstretch. Got to make up some time here.
That move's going to pay off big time because he's got these other guys now in his sights. He's looking at the lead.
Being told the 36 car, Brent Sherman, will be black flagged because he does not have the right side window in, and that's a requirement. NASCAR has for safety to keep the air out of the car. There he is, Brent, coming down pit road. This will be his last race in that car, by the way.
Makes you wonder where that window went. And look at Paul Menard still digging here. Great restart, put himself right in position now to challenge for the lead.
You know, a lot of times you see guys jump the restart, but he actually just timed it out, got up on that outside, and he just dug himself all the way around to his fourth place position. Outstanding job by Paul Menard.
Now he's up underneath Greg Biffle. Looks like he's going to get that pass made.
We watch Paul Menard from week to week, Andy, and he's got so much talent.
Got a car having a problem here, the 88 car.
A lot of smoke out of the side of the 88, possibly a tire rub, but a lot of smoke billowing out of that car.
He's had a tough day today. He had a right side strike of the car, and he had right side flats. Now it looks like the left side's cut down.
He's got to get this car into the pit area and get this fixed because this is going to blow that tire out. Here he comes.
And you can run into someone's right rear fender and just rub that valve stem off, and it'll just flatten that tire in a second. So easy to do.
Paul Menard now trying to take the third spot away, and will take it away from the 20 car of Denny Hamlin. Now this all started for Paul Menard on the restart. He was back in sixth spot. Watch the move by the 2 car of Boyer.
Man, he was ready to go to work when that green came out.
Paul timed that perfectly, and Clint saw him get the jump. Clint wiggled up to try to maybe discourage him. Look at him, but he keeps driving it. He even gets it from Denny Hamlin, who tries to wiggle him up there and make him slow down. He just keeps on digging. And like I said, I was going to say before, we talk about Paul every week and his talent, and he continues to blossom as a young race car driver. He's going to be a superstar, Andy.
He's got tons of talent.
Casey Kane came on pit road a moment ago with a flat tire. He's been on and off pit road for the Gillette Evernham crew. Battle here developing the 16 of Biffle, trying to hold off Clint Boyer and Tony Stewart in the 33 car.
We're going to see what Clint Boyer's got. He says he's the man to beat.
We're getting ready to find out.
That's right. We're seeing him work underneath Greg Biffle in that 16 car.
See if that BB&T car can cash a few checks here. Because he was writing them with that mouth, wasn't
That's right. He was writing those checks. Let's see if he can cash them right here.
Down on the bottom of the racetrack, you Clint Boyer fans just joined our coverage. He qualified back in 23rd position and said, I'm the guy. Whoa, up in the wall, almost against the wall again, was the 16 of Biffle.
He's flirted with that wall the whole race, and now he's into it again. At least the third time I've seen him.
At least, I was going to say, that's how he started the race, and we were bragging on him about getting up, and now he's back into the wall.
Smoke out of Marcus Ambrose's car. He's had some contact with the wall, and in spite of what's happening with the car right now, it's been a good week for Marcus because they welcomed their second child last Sunday, Adelaide Elizabeth. He said, nothing could make me not want to smile all week when I think about the joy we've been given here as our second child came into the world last Sunday afternoon. But obviously it troubles here for the rookie who was hoping to be able to stay in the top 10 in the points. He came in 8th today.
He's got some damage on the right side. He's been in the wall pretty good.
Well, what a super young man this young man is with Marcus Ambrose. See the points leader Carl Edwards coming down. He's going to do a little tuning on that thing, Andy. What do you think?
Well, I see some smoke coming out of the back of the car. I don't know what kind of problem he may have. I think he was in position. Looked like he was in position to get the lucky dog here.
As he rolls past us here, yeah, that thing has got it looks like some oil coming off the rear in that car, doesn't it?
See these, looks like he may have an oil leak or something here. Maybe caused from the damage of that left front tire when it went down.
NASCAR on their knees looking under the car to see if there is fluid coming out from beneath the car.
There's definitely fluid. I see this tire is real shiny right here. This right front tire, I see it. Looks like I got oil all over it. You can even see it right here on the door. I mean, this is oil that's on that decal right there, running all the way down the right side of this car.
Back here, let's get it off pit road.
Well, you see that a lot. A lot of oil lines seem to work their way loose. I mean, how does the fitting come loose so easily, Andy? I mean, maybe it's the jarring, but what causes those fittings to come loose so easily?
Well, I always said it was because they're never tight enough.
Yeah.
If it ever happened on my car, I never bought the excuse that it just came loose.
I mean, it's just that simple. It's just got to be tight.
Okay.
Remember the Owners' Championship going back here. The 60 car had a 39-point advantage over Richard Childress' number 29 car, which is currently being shown in the second position. They're on pit road. Here's Vickers into his pits under caution. Dave?
Leader Brian Vickers lost spots on pit road the first time. Second time they picked up a spot. What'll they get on the money stop this time? 4 tires, 4, no changes for the leader. Jamie.
Best case scenario for Jeff Burton. He's been in the top 2 all day. No changes. That means his car is coming to him. It's feeling great. 4 tires and fuel. Mike.
Denny Hamlin comes in second, complaining the car's just a little bit tight. They'll make an air pressure adjustment. No other significant adjustments to the 20 car. 4 tire change and fuel here on pit road. Up on the Jackson, now down and away.
Fuel only for the 17 car. You see Kenseth. The fuel only allows him to go back to the lead, gain 11 spots. J.J. Yaley up 15. Todd Bodine up 13.
That was a great move for Matt Kenseth. He had really fresh tires on that car after pitting a while ago, so that was a great move there to get him back up front and get that track position.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see J.J. Yaley and Todd Bodine. Big moves, guys, we haven't talked about much today.
Possible lug nut issue on the 10 car. Might have gotten it back on, so he was the leader. Brian Vickers in the 10 car, the Toyota, under caution for the 7th time back with the green. Back at Kansas Speedway, NASCAR Busch Series action. 71 laps to go in a 200 lapper here. The 10 car, Brian Vickers, who was the leader, had issues on pit road. We're going to show you what happened during this latest pit stop under caution number 7. Now watch the right front tire changer.
Everything's going pretty good here. So far, so good. Get the wheels off here, make the change. And right here, you see some lug nuts fall off. You got to reach down and pick. This tire changer has to reach down and pick these things up one at a time and put them on. And this takes forever. It seems like it takes a month to put these on.
Boy, it
like
really does. I'm telling you, that is such just a travesty because he was running so well. He comes in, this part of the program's not up to pace, kills him.
It's not good enough to have a fast race car anymore. You got to execute every element of this race.
Team effort.
He came in as the leader. He's now lining up for the restart in 14th position. That cost him effectively 13 spots on the track. Casey Mears, who was a lucky dog early in the race and got the lap back, now being shown as the leader here with 71 laps to go. Mears, Kenseth, who gassed only on pit road, they will lead him down.
Paul Menard here, losing a spot now to Clint Boyer.
He went around Clint last time. Clint said, I'm not going to let you do it. I'm going to slide up here and run that line. So he's got right into Paul Menard's tracks.
We've got a few strategies being played out here. Got Todd Bodine, J.J. Yaley. These guys have pulled some strategy to get up front.
2 car running up and around the 27 car of Casey Atwood.
I'll tell you, as these guys come off turn 4, the 4 wide racing is just incredible.
These guys trying to make their way back to the front, and the guy they've been chasing all year in the points, standing by with Mike Massaro.
And it has not been a good day necessarily for Carl Edwards. A lot of things happening to you today. What's this that's put you behind the wall just now?
They just had something come off the track and get the oil cooler. I don't know what Matt was thinking getting us there, but guess he's just mad I was passing him. And hopefully Greg or Clint wins the race. I guess we'll just go out and get the most points we can for the Scott's team, but just very frustrating here at the home track.
What actually happened between you and Matt?
I got a good run and jumped him on the outside, and I think he was just mad that I got up there and turned up there and hit me. At least that's what I assume. Maybe he'll explain it differently, and hopefully he does. But for now, I'm pretty upset at him.
And you can hear the frustration in his voice, Doc. Carl Edwards thought the bad luck was behind him. He was on a streak of 2 consecutive top 10 finishes coming into today.
That's caused all the problems he's having now. He blew that tire, and then I'm sure that's probably caused the oil cooler problem that he's talking about and put him in the garage.
Great racing at Kansas Speedway. They were 2 and 3 wide back in the pack. Now Casey Mears has pulled away. Mears had not pitted since lap 97. He did not come in on that latest, the last 2 caution flags. There's a look at Casey. He has finished second twice this year, looking for his first win in 2007. His only Busch win, by the way, came at Chicagoland a year ago. Dave?
And of course, what got Casey's day going in the wrong direction was a green flag pit stop on lap 51 for a loose wheel. That was a right rear. They got that fixed, and the car's been pretty fast. And he got the lucky dog back about lap 96 when the 38 and 88 crashed. So that lucky dog thing, it pays off when you have a fast race car.
He's looking good right now, Dave, but if he definitely has to make another pit stop, and I don't think these other guys do. I think they can go all the way to the end, and this could actually be a bad thing for Casey Mears.
Greg Biffle, who pitted a moment ago, back in the pack trying to get through all this traffic. They were 4 wide a minute ago, and Biffle, who's already touched the wall 3 times today, keeps it off of it there, trying to get by the 35 car of Bobby Hamilton Jr. and, of course, the 11 car of Jason Keller.
I was going to say he was flirting with that wall, but he's had a relationship with that wall today.
20 car, Denny Hamlin trying to go back by the 15 of Paul Menard. Remember, Menard made that pass on the restart last time out and was able to go from 6th to 3rd, and now Hamlin trying to take the spot away.
Looks like young Brad Keselowski got a little bit high there and got into the wall. Scuffed her up again. He's had a tough time keeping that bad boy off the wall.
Caution again. As you said, Brad, the 88 car in contact with the wall, and that loosened some sheet metal off the right side.
There he goes, just slides up into the wall, makes contact.
Tell you, he had a good opportunity for a great run today. Had a lot of optimism, and talked to Wes Ward, and he just, that first wreck, Andy, just seems like it meant that race car in a way he just cannot overcome it.
And it wasn't his fault. He just kind of a victim in that wreck. Yeah. Car still right here, just driving bad.
Okay there. Still one inside there. Keep taking here.
Just trying to stay out on the racetrack and get a good, decent finish, get the points, and move towards next week, but still beating and banging a little bit.
Gonna need to get that car in the pits now and work on it.
They were a little discussion ongoing here a moment ago on the racetrack. The 5 and the 20 car, future teammates for Cup for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2008, and they've already had a little contact today.
I think one of the things that these drivers are a little aggravated about is some of these guys jumping them on the outside on these restarts. Some of them take issue to it, and I think Paul did that to the 20 car a couple of cautions ago. Saw the same thing happen with Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards.
Under caution for the 8th time of day. This one coming out lap 136. The 88 car, Brad Keselowski. Contact with the concrete. Back in a moment.
Have a nice day.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Busch Series at Kansas, presented by Principal Financial Group. This telecast of the NASCAR Busch Series available in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Vizio. On pit road once again, great crowd, by the way, on hand enjoying the NASCAR Busch Series, and Greg Biffle back on pit road. Mike?
They just wanted to look at the track, the valence.
Little discussion here between Paul Menard in the 15 car and 20, Denny Hamlin. Let's listen in on the radios.
Okay. Go to the 15, tell him I've caught him 50 times. Get out of the way.
Now, what Denny's talking about right here is Paul Menard passed him on a restart on the outside. And Denny feels like he's got a faster car, and now he's a little aggravated that Paul won't yield to him and give him the spot back.
We've seen a lot of passing on the outside of these race cars. I mean, it's almost like a blind spot sometimes, too. So not only is there the shock of the guy being on your right door, it makes you a little bit angry.
It's aggravating when you think you're faster than that guy, and here he is just jumping on the restart, and he feels like it's kind of a cheap shot, but hey, when that green comes out, it's time to go.
Well, let's see what happens here. Do you think they're going to be friendly to each other here?
I think you're going to see Denny Hamlin up on that wheel.
Yeah, my vote would be no. Casey Mears, who last pitted on lap 97, will lead him down. Behind him is Kenseth, then comes Boyer. Then the two guys we're going to watch, that is Hamlin, of course, and Menard.
Casey Mears gets a good restart here. Casey Mears cannot make it to the end of the race without a pit stop. The rest of these guys can make it to the finish on fuel. Kind of interesting strategy with this 2014.
Dave?
Well, and guys, the box that they painted themselves into is, Andy's exactly correct. In about 20 laps, that's where the decision point comes. But if that caution comes out at about 20 laps, 18 or 20 laps, won't everybody have to come with them if they come down pit road?
They won't have to, Dave.
Well,
they may choose
to, but they might.
They
and that's what they're hoping for, that everyone decides to make their last stop at the same time they do. That's their only shot.
Here comes Boyer, Clint Boyer on the bottom of the racetrack. He told our big fella Brad Doherty, I got the car to handle him today. The kid from Kansas started back in 23rd, trying to move all the way in the second position.
He's making good on that claim right here.
He's making good on it. I'll tell you, he has been so patient all day long, just picked them off. He's kept that race car clean, and he is just setting them up, knocking them down.
29 car, Jeff Burton coming back from what was a little bit of a struggle on a pit stop, which put him back about 5 or 6 spots. Now being shown back up in the 7th position.
And we've got the 20 and the 15. They're hooking horns, boys. Denny Hamlin and Paul Menard.
This race is all over this track.
Look there. Uh-oh. Guess who's coming to the party? Number 5, Kyle Busch.
Hey, don't forget about me.
Kyle said, while you guys play with each other, I'm going to...
Here we go.
That's right.
Here we go.
Oh,
he's got him jacked up right here. This could be dangerous if he does this in the corner.
Hamlin underneath the back of the 15. It goes high. Hamlin will try to take the spot away, but Paul Menard's pretty darn stout on the straightaways. Here he comes.
Uh-oh, boys. I tell you what, this is going to be big.
When you pull a move like that, you better be able to get going.
And Menard just sails right back by.
You know, Paul, he's in that thing. He's up into it, ankle deep. Get up on that wheel, boy, and roll.
Might have woke up this sleeping giant.
Oh, this is a great race. Kyle Busch is just sitting back watching. Jamie, what do you have?
Well, guys, the team of Paul Menard so upset right now, but they're applauding their driver holding off Denny Hamlin. I guess this little grudge match between Denny Hamlin and Paul Menard goes back 2 years. So Paul Menard responding to that radio comment by Denny Hamlin. He said he's just mad because I'm faster than him.
2 years, that's a long time to carry a grudge right there.
That's a long time, man.
Drivers wouldn't carry a grudge 2 years, would they? How about a decade? Well, Paul Menard is right. He is definitely faster, and he's faster. And so now the 5 car is going by Denny Hamlin.
And the interesting thing is the outside lane is faster. That's where Paul's been faster. So
meanwhile, back at the ranch, here's the lead.
24 car, Casey Mears. We told you he last pitted on lap 97.
He's going to be in again here before long, but he's going to make the good of it while he's up here. He's going to make the most of it.
I'm going to tell you what, race fans, this is so exciting. This race, you can look everywhere throughout the landscape of this racetrack, and there is great racing all the way back to 26th, 27th position.
Matt Kenseth, who was the pole sitter and led 27 laps early on. Whoa, they're rubbing a little bit here on the high side.
Just don't forget now, this is a home track for Clint Boyer. He got a little extra incentive.
Oh, man, he's got, like I say, the crowd's up. They got the pom-poms out. They're cheering for Clint. You know, when you're at the home, when you got your home court, Doc, you play just a little bit harder.
Well, Clint's a kid from Kansas, clicking them heels, saying, take me home, number 2, take me home. 54 laps to go, and Clint Boyer has set sail from 23rd starting spot, now being shown as high as he's been all day long in second spot.
He's looking good right here, you know that. I love it, like when they say the driver just says, hey, I'm the man to beat. That means he's got confidence,
That's
man.
right.
Look at this
That's
thing.
right.
Digging on the bottom.
It ain't bragging if you can back it up.
That's exactly right.
Yep. He's just stalking Matt Kenseth. Uh-oh, J.J. Yaley having a little problem here on the bottom.
After that last pit stop, J.J. had actually gotten himself up for a good restarting spot.
He put himself in position. He stayed out there, got fuel only, and got up there in the top 5. Must have had an engine problem. Looks like it's no power. He may make it back to the pits. It's pretty slow in 3 and 4.
Boyer going downstairs.
He said that bottom groove was his. He likes it down there. Matt's been good up top, so this ought to be a good battle.
Yeah, it should. You know, Clint drives that race car down the bottom. You can just see how smooth he rolls through the corner and lets it feed back up to the wall. Let's ride with him here. Check this out. Down on the bottom, look at him. He just floats it back up to the top. But old Matt Kenseth is riding the rim of that bad boy, and he is flying.
Clint Boyer grew up in Emporia, Kansas, about an hour southeast of the racetrack. He loves the Kansas Jayhawks, a big Kansas City Chief fan. And boy, the fans would love to see him pick one up in the home state. Back at Kansas Speedway, under caution for the 9th time today. Hard impact by our points leader, Carl Edwards. Brings out caution on lap 151, and this car hit a ton. The whole front of his Ford Fusion mashed in, parts off the car, fluid leaking from underneath the front.
We heard him say something broke and caused this crash. He's really smashed it. Man, he shortened that baby up in the front.
Show you what happened here. Carl, one of 8 chase drivers running in the NASCAR Busch Series race today. Now watch how hard he hits.
Once again, just running along, that rear end gets light and it hooks. And that is a heck of an impact. Look at the rear end come off that racetrack, man.
You talk about the risk versus the reward of running in the NASCAR Busch Series. The reward is how much you learn about the racetrack. The risk is possibly taking a lick like that and knowing that you could possibly get banged up and then try to run in the Cup and be in the chase for the next L Cup.
Well, absolutely, and obviously winning that Cup championship is a huge pinnacle and part of this sport. He's running for a championship in the Busch Series as well. But this is a young man who also is coming off of a broken wrist from earlier in the season. So he is beaten, banged up, and I know he probably thinks there isn't light at the end of the tunnel, but he's a great athlete. He's physically fit, probably the most physically fit guy in here, and because of that,
tough.
He walks away from a lot of these things.
Still frustrated, though. He wants to stand on the track and be able to gesture to some of the guys coming by, but I know he cued the radio a moment ago and said he was very, that was a hard lick and that hurt. There's Carl, last week's winner in the Cup race. 15 radio. Let's listen in to Paul Menard and see what he had to say to his crew.
Don't let that 20 bother you. I ain't worried about him. 10-4, that's what I like to hear. I'm telling you, that's why he's so pissed right now, because he knows if he can't get you here, then you'll drive off from him.
That was a discussion regarding the Denny Hamlin comments earlier, that Hamlin was frustrated that the 15 was in front of him and he thought he should move out of the way.
He's not. Oh, Carl wants to talk to somebody. It looks like it's Matt Kenseth, his teammate. He's not happy about that contact earlier. This is what set this whole chain of events into motion, was the contact that they had.
And that is very atypical, at least from the Carl Edwards that I've known for the last few years. He rarely gets that upset.
He really doesn't, and he's always very complimentary. We've seen him earlier this year get wrecked at different racetracks, and he comes out and says, hey, the guy made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. We had a great race. But, you know, as time goes on, and you have expectations, Jerry and Andy, in any sport, and those expectations start to get chiseled away and worn away, and you hear it every weekend, why aren't you winning? It starts to eat at you a little bit. And I think he was wrong by his teammate.
You were mad because
and
you
it's
jumped to
eating
your
through.
outside, so you ran him up the racetrack, 1 and 2.
Plus, this is a hard wreck. This had to hurt, man.
Yeah.
You get out of that car and you have a lick like that, and you're kind of mad and hurting.
Yeah.
Want to take it out on somebody.
Yeah, you're right. And you and I talk about a lot. You know, we see some of these accidents where these cars are loose and then they hook and hit those walls a ton.
Carl trying to win 2 championships, a Busch and Cup, and that's a hard lick here in the Busch race. Back at Kansas Speedway under caution for the 8th time today. We had 1 caution flag the first 89 laps. We've had 7 since. We've had a rash of yellow fever here, and this latest one was a horrific impact by our points leader Carl Edwards into the wall. In fact, he hit so hard the back of the car came up off the racetrack. Now he's gotten out of the car and walked away. If you just joined our coverage, and a little frustrated about some contact that he had earlier in the day with his teammate Matt Kenseth.
Okay, right now we know that when the pit road opens, that the 24 car of Casey Mears is going to come down pit road and get fuel. He needs fuel and get 4 tires on that car. But these other guys, it's going to be interesting to see who comes in with him. I'll be surprised if you see Matt Kenseth and some of these leaders and Clint Boyer come in.
Safety crews you see working up there in turn 4, and these cars having to weave in between. They still have a lot of fluids to fill up, as the fluids now being cleaned up there by the crews up in turns 3 and 4. And still some debris down on the racetrack. And we are being told the pits will be open next time by. So this will be, as they say, the money stop.
It's a little tricky here, too, for some of these guys that are not going to pit. You got to dodge this debris that we see on the racetrack so you don't get a flat tire. I'd be telling my driver, hey, just give you some gap right here and make sure you don't run over something.
Now watch Carl Edwards coming down across the track, very frustrated, waiting for his teammate and current leader Matt Kenseth to come rolling by under caution.
He's trying to send a message right here. He's not feeling good about this whole deal.
Now that was just a moment ago as he went to the hospital. Now listen in to the 17 radio. Let's hear what Matt Kenseth and the team had to say.
Did he give you a thumbs up? I guess. I don't know. One of them restarts, he went outside me 4 wide. You know, we're all waiting for the lead lap cars going to jump outside and try all over. We went down in the turn 1, and I was just clearing my 3rd wide guy. I left enough room outside. I didn't leave a ton of room, but I left enough room, and we barely touched. I guess that cut his tire, and I guess everything that happened to him since then has been because of that, I guess. I don't really know.
I'll show you again what happened on the restart. Now the 60 car able to get by on the outside and try to make the pass on the 17. Now what's going into turn 1? What happens? Where the 17 car comes back?
See, Matt just jumps up on the outside here. It's going to be a selling job when he gets down there after the race with Carl, how he sells this, because it looks to me like he almost kind of just cleaned him off.
Carl Edwards' last DNF did not finish was the NASCAR Busch Series race last October, a year ago, at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Back at Kansas Speedway, 43 laps to go in our NASCAR Busch Series coverage. By the way, Carl Edwards has been examined, treated, and released from the Infield Care Center. Pit road will be open this time, 43 laps to go. And of course, these guys want to come on and get some tires, those that have them, and make this final pit stop. And this should be interesting. We've seen a lot of situations with some delays on pit road. Guys having lug nut issues, some guys having some slow stops on the rear tires. This one you better get right, because this one could determine the outcome here today.
You know how to avoid these pit road issues, don't you? Don't come down pit road. We see Matt Kenseth staying out. A lot of guys behind him coming in, though. It's going to be interesting.
I'll tell you, I'm really watching Paul Menard. I'm hoping he gets a great pit stop, because he really looks like he has some forward bite. I think he can win this thing. Dave?
Casey Mears definitely had to come in. He needed fuel to make an air pressure adjustment, needed to come off the corners better, according to Casey. Four tire change. Jamie.
And Paul Menard pulling into his pit box. They thought they had enough to make it to the end, but guys, they were out of tires, so they're putting scuffs on that 15. Mike?
Some debate in the 20 camp whether to come down. Denny said, however, we cannot win with the car the way it is right now. They're going to try to loosen him up with an air pressure adjustment. He could have settled for a top 5 finish, but he said he's going for the win. He's away.
And look at him flying off of pit road again for a while. There comes Harvick out, Biffle in the 16, Rudeman the 99, Stephen Wallace coming down.
A lot of good cars pitting here, so it's going to be interesting how these guys come up through there.
Yeah, I think the cream will rise to the top, Andy, and I think they're going to work their way back up. And Paul Menard, like I said, he got out second.
For more information on pit stops, log on to ESPN.com, search word know-how. You got to admire Denny Hamlin saying, guys, I can't win with this car. Loosen me up and give me a shot.
He didn't have a winning car right there. He needed to do something. He's not here to run third, fourth. He's here to win.
Now, Paul Menard on pit road a moment ago. Watch this stop.
Really think this is a crucial pit stop for Paul Menard. If he gets off this thing clean, I think he's got a good chance, Andy, to win this race once it cycles through, and it looks like his boys went to work.
It's the money stop. These guys hustling around the left side, get it up quick.
Absolutely phenomenal athletes working on these race cars.
Great pit stop.
Good job from Mike Gricci's crew down there, getting Paul in and out in a hurry, and that just might give him a shot to win this race. Dave is caught up with Carl Edwards.
He has walked out of the Infield Care Center here. First of all, you took a hard head-on hit there. Are you okay?
Yeah, that was pretty hard. That was tough, but I don't know, just kind of a long day for us. I heard what Matt said, you know, and I guess maybe that hit, you know, knocked me a little different there, made me think about, you know, what's important there. And Matt's a good guy, and he probably didn't mean to do that. I think he was a little frustrated because I was trying to pass him. You know, that was the only thing that I think, you know, happened there. But then as far as wrecking there, something broke on the car or whatever. We had a lot of stuff going on the front end, and I got real sideways. Thought I had corrected, and all I could see was safer bears. So nothing's hurt.
You felt the need to applaud him under caution there. How will you guys resolve this one-on-one?
Well, it just, you know, the reason I was mad is because I don't feel like my teammate should race me like that. He may or may not have done it on purpose. So the biggest thing is, I mean, I guess he's leading the race. I mean, he's my teammate, and we really got a good relationship. So hopefully we can get by this and cook some barbecue tonight or something, and maybe he'll show me his trophy.
It's difficult to be positive in these situations when it's so competitive, isn't it?
It is difficult. There's a lot of pressure, man. There's a lot. And I've got great fans, and I do have great teammates, and Matt's done a lot for me. I just, you know, hopefully that was just a one-time deal, a little lapse there that he might have had, and we'll move on. We'll see what happens, man.
And you'll have a few more races to catch the 29 again.
Yeah, we'll have more races, and they're running really well today. I don't know. Actually, they're not up there in the top 10, so maybe it won't be such a terrible day. But I just I don't know what to say, man. It's hard. People, it is hard when you're this upset and the camera's in your face. It's tough.
Thanks. Carl, thanks for your time. We're glad he's okay, guys.
Oh, he said, my mama taught me better. And but it is difficult. I mean, he showed some just true emotion.
And it's going to be Matt Kenseth has got a little time now to get his story straight, how he's going to sell this deal to Carl when he gets down there. It looks like Carl is going to let it go, but he's not very happy.
Yeah, while we're under caution, let's visit with our in-race reporter, Clint Boyer, now being shown in the second position.
Clint Boyer, Brad Daugherty, you got a copy?
Yeah, man.
You've kept that race car awful clean today. You've made your way up through the field. You're just riding, man. What's the outcome going to be? You going to take this thing to the front?
I hope so. You know, I want to win here more than anything. It's just we got one hurdle here at 17, ain't no slacker, but got some tires behind us coming, so you know they'll be catching us. But this clean air is worth a lot, so hopefully we can get going.
Well, I know you're not looking back. What do you have for that 17 car?
Hopefully a lot.
Well, dig in, buddy. Good luck. Go get him.
Hey, Dan, you got a copy on us up here?
Yeah, I got you.
You guys decided not to pit right there. Have you got your car right where you need it here to win this race?
I think so. Earlier in the day it was better on the long run, you know, so that part hopefully will play into our hand, but we're not racing for points, come to win the race, so just as I rolled them and said stay out. That's what we did.
You've been watching that monitor. Do you think that these guys with these new tires will be able to make any ground with them?
Oh, I'm sure they'll be able to make some ground. I just hope there's enough between us that didn't get tires that can block for us for a little bit.
You got the equalizer behind the wheel there. I'm sure Clint's going to get it done for you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Dan Deeringhoff, the crew chief for Clint Boyer. You talk about how these guys have to make critical decisions. He had to miss the Talladega race because he got married and went on his honeymoon. Now he's sitting at the resort on his honeymoon in the pool and realizes in the Bahamas that the race is on. He said, I had to make a critical decision. Do I go up to my room and watch the race, our coverage from Talladega, or do I stay married more than 24 hours? He said, I made the right decision.
Did he go watch the race?
No, I stayed in the pool.
Oh, man.
These guys are smart. And he's trying to get his driver in victory lane for the third time this year.
Got a big mess to clean up out there. They're still trying to get the track clean from this last wreck we had with Carl Edwards. Clean up all the springs laying all over the place.
You know what, guys? Let's give Carl Edwards a huge pat on the back. I mean, he is a solid young man. Every time Andy and Doc would go down, I go down and talk to him, it's always, yes, sir, no, sir. He'll look you right in the eye and answer your question. There are a lot of guys in both garages that could learn a lot from that interview that this young man just had, as frustrated as he is.
I cannot help but be a Carl Edwards fan. I really admire the way he handles himself. He's got a lot of maturity, and I really look up to this guy.
His car owner there very concerned about how he's going to be for tomorrow. Why? Because it's the third of 10 races for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Championship here. Coverage at 1 o'clock. Clint Boyer's hometown, but he's up against a two-time Kansas winner in Jeff Gordon, who won them both in 2001 and 2002. Gordon, the only driver to win at Kansas and take the championship in the same year. He did it in 2001. Live flag-to-flag coverage, 1 o'clock Eastern time on ABC. Let's go down to our pit studio and Alan Bestwick.
All right, Doc, we just saw Carl Edwards talking with Jack Roush. Been quite the day for the NASCAR Busch Series Championship leader. One of the contenders to win back at lap 96. That restart contact with Matt Kenseth that cut down the left front tire on Carl's machine, sent him to pit road and back into the pack. Fell as far back as 32nd at that one point. Then had the oil leak, spent some time behind the wall. Then this, ouch. The hard crash here at lap 151 when, according to Carl, something broke on the car and sent him into the turn 4 wall. He gave the, I guess we'll call it sarcastic applause to Matt Kenseth as Matt came by, and you heard Carl's comments just a moment ago. Still well in command for the NASCAR Busch Series Championship lead as far as the driver points are concerned, but owner points, another story, as Jeff Burton runs on the lead lap in 13th position. You see these last 14 races for Carl Edwards. Been a little bit of a dry spell for him where victory lane is concerned, but still well in command of the Drivers' Championship as we get set for the restart. Fresh tire guys from, what, 8th spot on back, Doc?
Exactly, Alan. These final 38 laps should be quite a shootout. Remember, the guys up front did not pit. Kenseth, Boyer, Kyle Busch and company. We'll see if these guys can hang on these final 38 laps at Kansas Speedway.
Put a couple new guys up front. We got Brian Clausen in the 41 in the top 5 now, running 5th.
And I'll tell you what, I talked to Brad Parrott yesterday about Brian Clausen. He said, Brad, he's good once he gets going, but he's not good on cold tires. This is going to be interesting to watch. Keep an eye on that 5th place spot in Brian Clausen. He's got to get up to speed.
They put him right in the middle of it right here.
He's right in the middle of it. That's going to shake out. We're going to see this.
Yeah, 2 months ago he was graduating from high school. Now he's driving 200 miles an hour in Kansas on national television.
He better get up
Welcome
on the
to
wheel.
NASCAR, Brian. Let's see if Kenseth can hold him off. The first car that pitted back in 7th spot, Scott Wimmer, trying to make a move in the 21 car. Here they come to the green flag.
Matt Kenseth a little late on the throttle right there on that restart. It kind of stacked him up behind him.
Yep, and here you see Paul Menard. He's coming around the outside of Clausen. They're charging him hard on the outside.
Now Clint Boyer's getting a challenge from Kyle Busch.
Busch getting very aggressive on the bottom of the track. Boyer's been real good in the middle and upper groove. Here he comes back on the high side.
Actually, Clint Boyer has been working the bottom groove pretty well. Now he's almost forced up into this upper groove. We'll see how it works for him. A good race for second spot.
Andy, can they catch up and keep up with Matt Kenseth running side by side right now?
Well, Matt's liking this when he looks in the mirror. He doesn't want these guys running single file running him down.
But you know, a lot of racetracks that run side by side, it slows the cars down. But with multiple grooves here, can these guys still run side by side and maybe still make up some distance?
Well, they can. It's probably not going to hurt them nearly as much as it would at most tracks. They got a lot of room to work. But see, Clint wants the bottom of the racetrack. He's been down there a lot today, and he's wanting to get down there. Now here we got the 5 car getting that second spot.
10 and the 15 car battling for position. Vickers and Menard in 8th position. Remember, the 10 had the bad pit stop, had the trouble with the lug nuts. Vickers came in, remember, lost those 14 positions.
He was leading the race when he did that.
All the way back to 15th. Now he's working his way back up to 9th. He's coming.
5 car left side of your screen, moving in on the leader, Kyle Busch. As you watch the right side of your screen, these guys almost getting together. Chevy and Toyota battle for 8th spot.
These are the guys that have tires on the right side of your screen. Paul Menard got 4 tires under that last stop. Man, they're racing hard up front.
They are rooting and gouging. I tell you, we talk about having the multiple grooves, but the choice real estate seems to be up near the top.
Seems like that outside groove is the place to be, but you see, man, look at this 5 car dive on the bottom.
Well, he just hugs that bottom groove, and the car sticks down there.
17 to get a little run right here. They'll watch it.
Matt's looking at his watch. He's going, okay, we only got 33 laps to go. I'm not going to give up too easy here.
Could not pull him, though. Tried to pull him, Andy. Couldn't do it.
Dave?
And, Doc, does the 5 look like they're saving fuel right now? No. They did that earlier because they last put it on lap 127, and immediately Alan Gustafson told his driver, try to save me some fuel in case we have to stay out for the end of this race. That's what they did. They hope they're going to make it. They believe that they can, and Kyle's racing for the win.
Looks like they gave him the green light right here, Dave. He's got this car on the move.
Yeah, car's using fuel, and he's using oxygen, because I promise you, he's breathing hard in there trying to get that 17 car to take that lead. Here he goes.
This car really glued to the bottom of the racetrack.
You see him run down in turn 3 there, and his car's bouncing and banging. It's the bumpy end of the racetrack. 3 and 4 really rough to get through. 1 and 2 very big, wide, and smooth. So you saw that car shaking to Matt Kenseth.
Kyle Busch leads the NASCAR Busch Series in laps led. 941 laps led this year. 2 wins on the season. His wins coming at Daytona and Richmond.
Here come these two buddies right here still racing each other.
Well, they're hooked together at the umbilical cord. They cannot get away from one another. You see him trying to get around Casey Atwood here.
I believe when Denny Hamlin asked him to loosen that car up, he might not have believed he could win the race, but I'm sure he wanted to get by that 15 car.
I think that's his race right now. He wants to get past that day-glow or a yellow race car. That's
Let me pass Menard for whatever happens. I want to get past that 15 car.
Got his work cut out for him.
Now, a little further back here, battle brewing for the 14th spot. One of the cars that have been up toward the front most of the day, the 16 of Greg Biffle. There's the 90 car. How about Stephen Light? And he is racing to get noticed to possibly get a ride for 2008.
Yeah, Doug Yates, the owner of Yates Racing, said they're going to concentrate solely on their Cup operation next year, run 2 cars, so their Busch program's possibly going to go away. And this young Stephen Light, even though he may sit in one of those Cup cars, is a tremendous talent. So if someone's looking for a great race car driver, this is the kid to pick up.
He's going to land somewhere.
Yeah, he's talented.
Check out the lead on the left side. Kyle Busch still working on Matt Kenseth.
Tony Stewart trying to make a move, and here goes the 20 car.
There we go. Come on,
okay,
baby.
it's my turn to go. Give you a little bit of grill here.
He said, okay, how did you do that a while ago? Let me try that.
Here comes Paul. Paul's hammered down on the outside. They're gonna snug up right here when they come off the corner.
Oh my gosh, Tony Stewart trying to thread the needle here between the 90 and the 16, and now they close the door.
28 laps to go. Business is getting ready to pick up. I'm telling you. racing everywhere.
Well, if I was a fan, I'd want to go outside and buy another ticket right now. I'm having so much fun watching this.
Okay, here comes Brian Vickers now in the 10 car. Going to get in on the action over here with Paul Menard and Denny Hamlin.
As I watch all these Cup guys come down through the start-finish line, all I see inside the cars are teeth. Every one of them are grinning because they're having so much fun driving these race cars today. I mean, just racing their guts out.
10 car on the inside says, you guys want to play up high, I can take this Toyota and I can hug the bottom here and make some moves. Victor's already led 31 laps today.
A lot of young talent right there in front of your screen. Denny Hamlin, Paul Menard, Brian Vickers.
I got to believe we're going to hear those names, see these guys racing side by side for many, many years to come.
Great point.
Get down to showtime here, 27 laps to go. Man, look at that Toyota run. Got some motor in those Toyotas.
Thing's got some hosses, doesn't it?
John Dysinger, the engine builder for the Toyota teams. Up front here, 17 car, Kenseth. 5 car of Kyle Busch.
Now Kyle's running up top here.
Give a call, by the way, to Joplin, Missouri's Jamie McMurray. Talk about 3 of the drivers that are from this area in the Midwest. He has his own fan club here in the stands watching it, and they've got to be loving the fact that McMurray has been a factor here, now being shown in the 4th position.
We haven't talked about him much at all today, and he's just quietly worked his way up into the top 5 and is driving a well of a race and has a good-looking race car. He's taking very good care of it. Fenders are clean, and he is marching.
And the car with the freshest tires is this 24 car of Casey Mears. He's run these guys down now, and he's got the freshest tires of the bunch.
Got him a pit stop, got him a load of fuel. He's got a fast race car. He could be in the mix here in about 5-6 laps.
Casey Mears in the 24 car. Remember, he finished second in the Cup race here last year. Oh, the 88 car of Brad Keselowski has contact and will bring out caution.
I think I blew a tire.
Hey, he has hit the right side, the left side. He has had a tough day with that race car, but this young man won't quit.
Got the lucky dog, got back on the lead lap. Looked like it was going to turn around for him today.
Oh, I'll tell you, Mama said there was going to be days like this.
I don't think it's going to roll right there.
Oh.
Now he's going to need some help getting this car back to the garage area.
Not like I blew a tire going in the corner.
Brad coming off equaling his career best finish at Dover last week with another 7th place finish, having a tough day
yeah,
here.
I'm all right.
He put that window net down, means he's okay. It's a signal to the emergency workers that he's okay.
This is a resilient young man, though. We saw him take a heck of a lick about 3 weeks ago and get right back in that race car the following week, so he'll bounce back.
You saw him give the thumbs up to the safety crews when they got up there. They saw how bad the car was bent up.
We'll see some fuel dripping out of that rear end there. Need to get that off the racetrack.
Watch what happened here to the 88 car.
Oh, yeah, he lost grip big time getting in the corner.
There. Hold the brake. That's on, Glenn. Hold the brake, Brad.
Just amazes me.
Could have had a tire going down.
Yeah, if they go into the corner, these rear ends get so light. And you have a tire going down, that rear end lifts up, and you can hear the RPM come up, and he's just pedaling that thing and backs it in the wall.
9th caution flag today. The record here is 10 set a year ago. We do not want to tie or even break the record, but good news. Brad Keselowski stepping out of the car. Our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series at Kansas being presented by Principal Financial Group for retirement, investments, insurance, and banking will give you an edge. And in part by the group with Aaron's, with over 1,400 stores nationwide. Everyone is a lucky dog at Aaron's. And by Allstate, the official insurance sponsor of NASCAR. Under caution here for the 9th time. On lap 176, the 88 car is still being attended to over there. Brad Keselowski is out of the car. He's okay. Here's the contact a moment ago.
Andy, it looks like he drove off in the corner. Obviously, it just came around on him. You think that was the right rear tire or something?
Hold the brake. That's on, Glenn. Hold the brake, Brad. Hold the brake.
We heard Brad say that he blew a tire or something getting in the corner. But, boy, you see how that car just crushes up right there. That's a good thing when you see the car collapse and that soft wall. Boy, the 99 just getting by this.
He did. I mean, and that impact, like you say, the car collapsing like that, that's taking all the stress off that car.
Yeah,
across the soft wall.
We see Brad was way out of the groove.
Back it down, back it down. Go low, go low, go low. Good job, good job.
Safety device is being removed. Now there's the helmet, the Hans device, the head and neck restraint device. So many safety features inside these cars, and we've already seen Brad Keselowski walk away for some pretty violent impacts, particularly the one at California just about a month ago. For more on safety, let's check in with our Chevy cutaway car in the Dish Tech Center. Here's Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. The new COT car is quite a bit different from the car we're running today. Roll cage taller, makes a car with the big guys inside a lot more room to move around. Going to move this seat over to the right side of the car. That's going to move the seat away from this impact area right over here to doors. Driver's going to be safer sitting over there. We've got this new material, the foam that goes on the outside of the car. It helps withstand a lot of impact here when the guys hit these walls at about 200 miles an hour. But the soft walls, the Hans device, everything's in the interest of safety to keep these drivers back in the events.
You're exactly right, Tim, and they're already applying a lot of that to these cars currently here, trying to make them as safe as possible. But in 2009, guys, they're going to make some drastic changes to the cars that we see and we know as the NASCAR Busch Series.
They're going to really go to a car very similar to the car of tomorrow that's running in the Cup Series right now, with all these features that Tim just showed you. And so they're going to make the Busch cars just as safe as the Cup cars. Actually, we're showing now that these Busch cars are extremely safe now, but they're going to make them even safer.
And the nose will be different, and the spoiler will be different. It will not be the car of tomorrow you see in the Cup garage. It'll be a different car, and it'll look different because they may be different kind of cars.
Yeah, I spoke to Joe Balish, director of the Busch Series, and he says that's right. They're trying to take all the implementations of safety. That is the most important thing, and stick into these Busch cars. Now, if they go to a shorter wheelbase or whatever, or pony cars like they talked about, who knows? But it will be the safety of it.
I'm hearing they're going to use the same chassis that they use with the COT. They may brand it or market it in a different way and put a different look on it, different nose, and obviously I think they're not going to use the wing. I think they're going to use a spoiler on the back, but the chassis of the car will be the same as the car of tomorrow, which then it'll be the same across the board. And
away from that competition and safety edge, there's still a lot of discussion on how you handle a lot of the NASCAR Nextel Cup guys who are running in the Busch Series and how that works in 2008 and 9 and beyond.
Yeah, there's been a lot of ideas thrown around about that, some good ones, some bad ones, but yeah, they're working on it. NASCAR, you got to pat them on the back. They do everything they can. Let's go down to Dave.
Hey guys, with Brad Keselowski right now, who's walked out of the infield care center. Long day for you. Are you okay? And sum it up for us.
Yeah, I'm fine. You know, as you can see, it blew a right front tire going in the corner, and that ended our day. Got a fender rub there from the 38 who decided to run us in the wall for no reason, and that killed our day. We were just fighting the right side, trying to fix it the whole race from there, and I'm sure he doesn't think it's his fault, but he's looking at the replay. But good car. The U.S. Navy Chevrolet was not a winning car, but we're going to get the best we could out of it, probably bring home a 15th place, and sorry for all the guys that put a lot of hard work into it, but we're going to go hard and go to the next one.
All right, and that'll be 2 weeks in Charlotte, guys.
Brad Keselowski able to walk away because of all the safety features we talked about a moment ago. Well, folks, 19 laps to go here. It has been a heck of a day here. 9 caution flags for 48 laps. We've had 15 lead changes, 7 drivers. The top 4 drivers did not pit, remember, on that latest caution flag. It is Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, Jamie McMurray. These guys have tires that are 31 laps older than the 5th place car of Casey Mears. And, of course, Casey Kane Hamlin on these guys on back. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Fresh tires, 19 laps to go. Restart. Can the top 4 hold on?
I think Matt Kenseth can hold on. I think it's going to be difficult for this 24 to get there, but it's going to be close. I think he'll maybe get to the lead, but I'm not sure he'll be able to overhaul these guys by the end. It's going to be good to watch.
Remember the kid from Kansas, Boyer back in 3rd, the Missouri native, McMurray in 4th, Mears trying to get his first win in Busch in 2007. Down to the green flag, here comes Matt Kenseth, who has led 63 laps today.
Front 5 get a big jump.
Saw McMurray's car pull down and look and sniff beneath a couple other cars. Jamie McMurray there trying to go beneath the 2 car. That's for 3rd position.
Jamie McMurray making a big move getting down in the corner, but Clint Boyer able to hold him off so far. Here goes the 5. Going for the win.
Brad, you talked about Kyle Busch. Like that bottom of the racetrack, and now Kenseth moves down to the middle of the racetrack.
Well, they come off 3 and 4, and Matt just slides that race car up to the wall, and Kyle Busch almost gets into him. Here we go again. Kyle to the bottom of the racetrack. Can he stay down there and get past Matt? I just don't know if he can do it. Andy, can he get past him down there?
He's just diving to the bottom. He's got a little bit of an edge right here. If he can dive down in the corner like he did the last lap,
Can he get that motor wound up enough, or is he pent down too much?
He's got to get clear. He's got to get clear off the corner. Right here, he's going to get clear.
There he goes. He's slide up. He's going to get it.
That's what he was looking for right there.
Come on.
He wanted to hear that one word, clear. Whoa, trouble in turn 4, the 41 car, the 18-year-old of Clausen.
Come on down pit road. Come right on down pit road.
We talked about Brian Clausen and having trouble getting going on cold tires. That's what Brad Parrott, his crew chief, told me yesterday. He says he is a super young race car driver, but he just doesn't get up to speed very fast, and that's a good example of that. These guys will run all over you with 20 to go, baby. You got to harness them up and get down.
It's showtime then. You got to be able to go.
Brian Clausen, who had been up as high as 6th position, the 18-year-old, making only his 2nd ever Busch start, brings the damaged Dodge down pit road for service by the Ganassi Sabatis crew.
That was a big move by Kyle Busch to get by Matt Kenseth. Matt's probably...
Jody, bear bond.
Jody the Crasher brought out caution number 10, a record-tying 10th caution. Right side of your screen.
Brian Clausen just dives under Todd Bodine in a 0-3 car and loses the car. Slides up into the safer barrier.
Yep, nose tucked toward the apron. The rear end got a little light and came right around on him. Like I was saying, Brad said it takes him 6, 8, 9 laps to get those tires good and warm. He gets real comfortable once he's got a lot of grip. But until he gets there, he's a little bit on ice.
Unfortunately, this is the kind of thing that you have to learn. I mean, you just don't come into this series knowing how to handle these situations. He's got to learn how to do that. Sometimes you tear up some race cars trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, the restart a moment ago, we thought it would be a shootout up front, and indeed it was. This pass, you watched the 5 car, Kyle Busch make the pass. This is our Castrol Syntec power and performance pass of the race. Now, watch the power of this 5 car. He's going to try to be able to get by the 17. He said, nope, I'm going to keep the high side. But as you said, guys, the key was he had to clear him while he had him coming off the corner.
I think if these guys ran 2 more laps like this, that Matt Kenseth was going to be able to keep Kyle Busch behind him, but Kyle knew that. He said, I've got to get clear right here, right now.
That 100 horsepower is impressive, Andy. You know, don't normally get a car pinned down there. They can't turn as many, or the RPM is hard because they don't have as much racetrack. It's just physics. But he drove that thing as hard and slid up and got the spot. He might check out on it.
That was the first time the 5 car has led all day. Here's a guy that's led the most laps in the series, 941 laps going in, but he led his first laps today with that pass.
Got a few parts dangling off the back of this 41 car.
I'll tell you, we've seen fenders, sheet metal, springs, rubber, you name it, it's been on the racetrack today.
Oh, I didn't need that anyway.
Yeah, that was weighing me down. Brian Clausen.
Let's give a call out to the crews around here who kept this racetrack as neat as they could today. They have had their hands full. They've been cleaning up all kinds of pieces and parts. It's a junkyard.
Let's check in the leaders' pits with Dave.
On the last restart, Doc, this was the leading car, the 17 of Matt Kenseth. Behind him was our current leader, Kyle Busch. Now, on the back of Matt's car, there's an ad campaign going on for Arby's, which says, if Matt wins this race, you can get free fries on Monday. There's something going on that way. Fans win anyway if Matt wins. So Kyle saw that on the last restart. Here's what he had to say to his team.
So would we rather have radio call-ins on Monday or free fries from Arby's on Monday? Call-in.
Yeah, you're kidding, right?
Completely.
I'll buy you the fries.
These guys having
All right,
fun.
and obviously they are, Andy. And see, here's the thing. If they win the race, the 5, anybody that wins the race, they've got a lot of media to do. They've actually got more teardown to do. It's a lot of work to win a race, but that's still the goal. And so crew chief Alan Gustafson saying, listen, win the race, I'll buy you the fries.
Who do you think I'm pulling for, Doc?
I know who you're pulling for, because you, man, never met a bucket of fries he didn't like.
Well, what's Matt Kenseth got up his sleeve right here on this restart?
Remember, lap 90, the 5 had that speeding penalty and had to go to the end of the longest line. He's come all the way from the back of the pack to finally lead here. Can he hold on? Can Kyle Busch get his 5th win of the year, or 3rd win of the year, I should say?
Clint Boyer was inching back up on them, guys. Let's not forget about him when before they got that caution from Clausen. He was coming.
Restart, it'll be 13 laps to go. Great crowd on hand enjoying, and what's not to enjoy? NASCAR Busch Series action here in the heartland of Kansas Speedway. Can Kyle Busch hang on? His kid's going to come after him. How about the kid from Kansas back there, that 2 car? He promised you, Brad, he was going to be the guy to beat. He's got 14 laps to get there.
Don't forget about Casey Mears in that 24 car.
Jamie McMurray as well. Got a tall order here, guys.
Watch McMurray. He was sneaking down on the inside. Here goes the 2 car down to block that lane.
Well, Jamie McMurray took a hard look down below. Clint Boyer just couldn't quite get there. Meanwhile, Casey Mears closes up on McMurray's deck lid. He's coming.
Guy's still running 2 and 3 wide.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul Menard can get another break. He's also up on the wheel coming. He's pedaling that thing along with Denny Hamlin.
Mears moving by the 26 of McMurray. Again, that's fresher tires by 31 laps. He will take the spot away. And again, a reminder, Matt Kenseth led 5 times for 65 laps. That's the most laps, and the leader of the most laps has never won the Busch Series race here in 6 tries.
Shaping up to do it again here. Here comes that 24 car.
A lot of aggression back there. 90 car trying to get noticed. Stephen Lott trying to get a ride. The 03 on fresh tires. Todd Bodine, last year's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Champion.
Also back there with Jason Keller out of Greenville. Had his 417th start today. Tying Tommy Houston all time on start list.
Great landmark start for Jason. These guys back battling for position. That is 13th on back.
Kevin Harvick's car looks pretty strong right now. It hadn't looked that good all day, but it's strong here late.
And Kevin's starting to pick his way up through the front. Like I say, hadn't been happy with that race car, but it's starting to come alive.
Okay, here's Casey Mears now working on Clint Boyer.
I'll tell you, they're going to have a tough time walking down Kyle Busch, though, guys. He's got about a 10 car length between he and Matt Kenseth. That doesn't look like he's backing up at all.
Well, once he got that lead, now he made it stick.
Yeah.
I think Kyle was pretty serious about not wanting those free fries.
I'm going to have to talk to him after the race.
10 and 29 car battling for position. That's for 8th spot.
There's more guys that pitted and got fresh tires, but looks like that track position was worth more than the tires for these guys.
That's a great point. Greg Biffle again.
Still sliding that car off the corner.
Someone got to tell that boy the wall is not your friend.
He's wheeling it. He's a wheel man.
He is up on the wheel. Biffle we're talking about in the 16 car. Being shown in 11th spot, and Casey Kane in front of him is in 10th.
Casey Kane having a good run. Mike Shiplett, his crew chief, spent a lot of time with him yesterday. They just weren't happy with the car at all. And so they were wanting a good top 10 run. Thought they had a good top 10 car, and it's proven out.
15 car in front of this group, right in front of the 29 and the 10. 15 of Menard. And right in front of the 15 is the 20 car. There is Denny Hamlin in the 20. He was gotten by the 15.
Well, wherever you see Denny Hamlin, you're going to see Paul Menard. Wherever you see Paul Menard, you're going to see Denny Hamlin. That's all you got to know for the rest of the day.
I wonder where they're having dinner tonight.
Together.
8 laps to go at Kansas Speedway. What a great afternoon for the NASCAR Busch Series. And guess what, folks? This Kenseth is starting to pull in on the 5 car. And here's the battle for 3rd position. Boyer trying to hold off Casey Mears.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt Kenseth, he's got an extra gear, it looks like, Andy.
I wonder what he had up his sleeve. What he was thinking maybe is, I'm going to let him get out here and run these tires off. Maybe I'll rest mine a little bit, and then I'll charge late. That might be what he's thinking.
Well, he is coming. He is closed up to about 6 car lengths on him.
Let's see if he's got enough saved up to be able to beat him. He's coming.
Goes inside. Look at him.
Coming.
Here he comes. Look at this.
Matt Kenseth pedaling hard on the bottom of the racetrack. And oh, the car's slipping a little bit. Watch him working that steering wheel.
Man, he is sawing that wheel.
Looks like he's swatting flies inside that car. You see those hands going back and forth on that wheel. He is driving it for all he's worth. 6 laps to go.
And he got a huge run that last lap. He's obviously lost some positioning, but what happened there? Why was he able to get such a big run on that? Now he looks like he's lost it.
This is a big cat and mouse game. We see him working the top side of the racetrack, and then he went to the bottom. He's using that momentum off the top side to catch this 5 car, but he knows that 5 car is going to take that groove away from him when he gets there, so he's trying to figure out, how am I going to pass him when I get there?
Mike?
You know, Doc, I had a conversation with Matt Kenseth's crew chief, Drew Blickensderfer, this morning, asking him about his season, how he would describe it. He said successful, and then he paused, and you could tell there was some disappointment. I asked him why. He said because we finished 2nd 5 times this year. They're trying to avoid it for the 6th time.
Got to be frustrating when you get so close and can't quite get there. Guys, remember what happened to Kyle Busch early in the year? He'd be leading the race, and then the last lap at Las Vegas, he gets past and ends up smacking the wall. He said, I've seen this before, and I'm not letting anybody by me these last 4 laps.
I'll tell you what, Kyle Busch has a hot rod on the straightaways, no doubt about it. I mean, he just pulls him by about 6, 7 car lengths, but Matt catches him in the corner.
Brian Vickers is driving the wheels off that Toyota, too, trying to come back from that problem on pit road, which put him 14 spots back. That is for position. That's for the 7th spot.
Paul says, hang on now. I'm trying to race this 20 up here.
Boys, look. I want you to look at these leaders. Look at it. Here comes Matt Kenseth. Here comes Matt Kenseth. Is he going to get him?
He's throwing everything but the kitchen sink.
Here comes Matt Kenseth.
Trying to get it to stick. Now, if he can get it to stick and stay with him, here he comes.
He's wheel to wheel. Got a lap car in front of him. Boy, Kyle's good right there in 1 and 2, isn't he?
Yeah, he uses that 41 as a pick.
Yeah, scrubs him.
Damaged car and Brian Clausen there on the bottom of the racetrack, and now Kenseth will have to try it again. He's got 3 shots to get him.
Man, he built up so much momentum, Andy.
Man, now you see the 5 car going to the bottom.
Battle side by side here for position. Fresh tires for Mears.
Got lap traffic.
Here we go. 2 laps to go.
White flag next time by. Kenseth has no time to wait. He's going to have to get him. Dave.
And Doc, you mentioned those near misses in the 5 car. This is the car. He's trying to reverse the trend, but here goes Kenseth to the outside.
Kyle Busch slams the door, says not up high. We'll see if Matt can make the move. He made the move in turns 3 and 4 on the bottom 2 laps ago.
Here he comes. This is it.
It's a chess match here. These guys are trying to figure out which lane to be in.
Can Matt get that thing wound up on the bottom and stay with him? Can't get to that left rear at all.
I think Matt wants that outside.
Do you?
I think he does.
Okay.
You heard Dave say this is the car that got passed on the last lap at Las Vegas when Kyle Busch lost the race and smacked the wall. He says it ain't going to happen again, folks. Here comes Kenseth on the high side.
Right. He's on the outside.
That's right. He wants that outside now.
No lap traffic whatsoever. No one to be able to use as a pick. Here he comes.
Oh, here we go, Doc.
Kyle's not going to let him have that outside.
Kenseth pedaling on the bottom of the racetrack. Chevy up high. Ford on the bottom. Fans on their feet. Watch this finish coming down. And Kyle Busch, he just hangs on.
That was outstanding.
15 and 20 now. Here they come by. Menard.
Oh, man.
What an effort.
All you guys, thanks. Way to go.
All these fans can do is stand and applaud, and I'm applauding with them. What an effort by these drivers here in the NASCAR Busch Series.
Man, what a race.
What a great race. That was a great race. Kyle Busch drove the wheels off. Matt Kenseth, little cat and mouse. Casey Mears has a great finish. Clint Boyer. Well, let's give old Kyle Busch a pat on the back. He got pressure from every angle on that race car, and he held on to win.
And remember, he had that speeding penalty. He had to go all the way to the end of the longest line and came back and didn't lead until there were 15 laps to go and won this race. What a drive by Kyle Busch.
Absolutely outstanding. We saw him have such tough luck at the beginning of the year. He comes back and gets a victory.
Jamie Little.
And Alan Gustafson now is crew chief for Kyle Busch. So was it that fries comment that got him there at the end? You going to buy him those fries now?
Yeah, I'll gladly buy him the fries. So Kyle did a great job. All these guys on this stay green and low Chevy did a good job all day long. That speeding penalty on pit road got us behind, but the pit stops were unbelievable all day long. And team's getting some momentum. Real proud of the guys. The guys, the 525 shot did a good job building this car. Everybody entering motorsports. And Kyle, man, he drove the wheels off that thing. So he went out there and got it for us.
He sure did. And Doc, you can imagine the team is upset knowing their driver, Kyle Busch, will be out of their car next season.
I'll tell you, I'd be upset too knowing he's out of my race car, Andy. That young man is a talent to behold, and he hasn't reached his potential yet, Doc.
He is a wheel man, and he's still got a long way to go. Now, listen to this crowd. They appreciate what they just saw. Look at this crowd here for a Saturday afternoon NASCAR Busch here. Listen in.
Go get that checkered flag.
He deserves it. He is a wheel man.
Kevin Moss throwing the flag down to 22-year-old Kyle Busch, who picks up his 3rd win of 2007.
Young man has matured tremendously, Doc, over the season, and is just a tremendous talent.
He's just getting started.
Yep.
How excited are the Joe Gibbs folks got to be about this kid's future over there with Joe Gibbs racing with Denny Hamlin and Tony Stewart?
Trophy case ready.
Let's take a look at our Crown Royal crowning moment here of the afternoon. Holding off Matt Kenseth on the final laps at Kansas Speedway. Matt is one of the best when it's on the line. He's one of the best closers in all of sports. You want him on the mound in the bottom of the 9th. It's the last lap, and here he comes, and he can't quite get there.
Boy, that was just outstanding. Both those guys putting pressure on one another, trying to wear those tires out. Awesome.
Well, Matt Kenseth gave it a heck of a run. He's standing by with Mike Massaro.
And Doc, it doesn't get much closer than that. And Matt, how would you describe those closing laps?
Just stinks getting beat. You know, I hate getting beat, but you know, Kyle's a great race car driver, and he raced me really clean. I enjoy racing with Kyle a lot. I wish I could have beat him, but I still enjoy racing with him. So I was just a little too free on restarts. I was really good in the long run, but I was just a little too loose, and I knew I couldn't get him outside of me because I wouldn't be able to keep control of my car in the bottom, and I gave him the bottom and went to the outside, and he got a good enough run to clear me. So it's disappointing he got by me, but it was a fun battle at the end.
Lots of tough racing today. Another incident early on with your teammate, Carl Edwards. What happened there?
I don't really know. I guess he was either mad or cheering me on, giving me a thumbs up on track. I'm not sure which, but I don't know if I was getting beat for an owner's championship by a couple part-time guys. I probably wouldn't be 4 wide on a restart up in the gravel anyway, so I don't really know what his problem was. He's obviously mad about something, but you know, even though he was out there, I still left him plenty of room, so I don't really know what he's mad about.
Well, guys, another solid run for Matt Kenseth. He brings it home second this afternoon.
Margin of victory was 0.085 seconds, 85 thousandths of a second. Second closest finish in 2007 for the NASCAR Busch Series, and that's why those fans were on their feet with this crowd. They were enjoying what they had seen, and what an effort by this young man. And it's hard to, Andy just can't say enough about the fact that he had to go all the way to the back of the pack for that pit road violation and drive through all those good cars.
He made it worth the price of admission, I'll tell you that.
Boy, what a super effort by this young man. He drove a smart race as well. Like I say, at the beginning of the season, he started struggling. He's back.
Let's go down to victory lane and Dave Burns.
And he's given some of that back, too. Got a beverage shower of several varieties there. High-fiving all through the team. He talked on the radio on the way in how practice helped make this day perfect at the end of it. And Kyle, after a season start where you were so close and didn't, 3 wins in your last 6 races.
Well, it's you know, it's a testament to this team. They don't give up. You know, we're still winning these races, trying to win these races, you know, week in and week out. We've got a great race team here, and you know, it's going to be sad here at the end, but really enjoying it right now. You know, it's a lot of fun, and got to thank Stay Green, Lowe's, Spectracide, everybody on board this Chevrolet, UGS, Bosch, Freightliner. So all the guys that stick behind us, and Quaker State helped us get here.
Tell me about that. That will be tough to leave because you guys have learned to click.
Yeah, we have, but you know, there's friends elsewhere in this world, so it's no different than having to move from Las Vegas to North Carolina. So we'll get it done, but thanks to all these guys, everybody back at the shop, chassis, engine shop, everybody there, and you know, we've got one to win tomorrow too, so hopefully we can do that here.
He was on the move today from the tail end of the longest line to the front of the race, and the win today, Doc.
7th different winner in 7 races here at Kansas Speedway. Now, after 30 of 35 events, take a look at the NASCAR Busch Series point standings. You see they're narrowing up in the top 10. Kyle Busch picks up his 3rd win of 2007, his 10th career NASCAR Busch Series win in 105 races. Congratulations to Kyle Busch, and we invite you to join us tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, live flag-to-flag coverage on ABC Sports of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Kyle Busch will start 8. For Brad Daugherty, Andy Petrie, and our entire crew, I'm Jerry Punch. Say congratulations to Kyle, and so long from Kansas.